The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Aaron Glenn will address his quarterback change for the first time today. What are we looking at the rest of the way for the Jets? That, among a bunch of topics, is what we will be discussing. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
How do you think Justin played overall?
There's some things that he could have done better. Again, we do have to watch the tape.
Oh, there it is. You got to bench him. He stinks.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now. Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Make sure, before we get rolling here, you are subscribed to the channel. We talk Jets each and every day, 4+ hours a day, and have a live 3-hour post-game show immediately following every Jets game. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's get things underway as we're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. We say hello to the host of the Nick Shine Show, Nick Shine, who's wearing a beautiful New York Jets sweater on this fine hump day Wednesday morning.
Padded elbows, too. How are you, good sir?
I'm hanging in. I'm excited to hear from Aaron Glenn this afternoon. A couple ways you could go about it, right? Diana Rossini from The Athletic was the first to report of the quarterback change before it was confirmed immediately by a bunch of other reporters. Is Aaron Glenn going to get up there and when he's asked questions about the change, is he going to say, ask Diana, the same way he did the old ask Rich, referring to Rich Cimini's Garrett Wilson report? Is Glenn going to lean into it, have some fun with it? Is he actually going to be upset about it? Is he going to handle it like an adult and just say, look, we tried it with Justin. We're going with Tyrod. Try and give us the best chance to win. What type of approach do we get from Aaron Glenn later?
Well, the track record's been combative, right? Like, he hasn't been very forthcoming lately. He's been a little disgruntled. So I fully expect him to get up there and just say, well, I don't know who's starting. I haven't announced it yet. I expect him to kick back to the media a little bit and be like, I haven't announced it. When we announce it, that's who the starting quarterback will be. I expect him to just keep the attention on him and off of everything else. But who knows? Right now, it's the only thing that's must-see TV is Aaron Glenn's press conference. It's certainly not the games.
You're not wrong. Well, the thing is, with Glenn, if he plays that game again, Jeremy Ruckert spoke to reporters on Monday over Zoom, and he confirmed that during the team meeting, Aaron Glenn told the team they're making the QB change. So, like, a player confirmed it. So Glenn can't really play the, oh, we don't know who the quarterback is, competitive advantage, when it's like one of your players already confirmed that this report is true, that they're making a change. So I don't know if he's going to be combative. It would be funny, at least as a joke, show a little bit of a lighter side if he's like, ask Diana. Like, I'd laugh. I think that'd be funny.
Yeah. Go speak to Jeremy. Jeremy seems to know everything, and also I would not pick Jeremy Ruckert for anything in your FanDuel parlays this week because now he'll be benched.
I mean, that's kind of how it goes. A lot to talk about with the Jets beyond just this quarterback change, but we'll stay with Tyrod for a moment here, right? Because the Jets, I mean, no one's going to pick them. You look at the latest line from our sponsor, FanDuel. Jets are 13.5-point underdogs against the Ravens on Sunday, but I would like to see the Jets remain competitive. I would like to see the Jets go out there and do what the Browns did, right? They hung around. They showed some fight. I think the Jets should not go into this one being like, oh, we're just going to get killed. You've had the rest advantage as well going into this game. The Ravens have not been this dynamic team that we were expecting to see from them this year. They've had some injuries. Lamar's been banged up. I want the Jets to at least compete. I think there's value in showing fight rather than just getting killed. I think a lot of the progress that Jet fans are trying to sell themselves on that this staff has made in season, I think to me it revolves in how they look in a game where you're obviously, not expected to win. You're at a clear talent disadvantage. So I'd like to see some fight, even though I don't think any realistic Jet fan can expect them to win this game outright.
Oh, wow. There goes me picking them. Well, here's some of the positives to look forward to, right? Uh, we competed really well in Tampa when Taylor was the quarterback. We were in the game. It was close. And with Taylor, he stood in there. He took a beating. I know we had the miraculous block by Will McDonald, but I don't feel that game got out of hand. And the Ravens aren't the Ravens of the last couple of years. Let's be very clear with that. I know they're winning games. They're on a 3 or 4 game winning streak, but they're not the Ravens that everyone expects. They're not rushing for 250 yards every week. Derrick Henry is not being utilized the way Derrick Henry has been utilized in the past. Lamar's been injured, came back. I know Cleveland's got a very good defense, but that team did not look very impressive last week against the Browns. And we beat the Browns. I know we didn't have much offense in the game, but I don't think that this is a game where we're going to be out of it from the beginning. I think we've all looked at the Jets. We've looked at the offensive line and said, if we can get a little bit of a passing attack going where we can open up Brees, we can have something. Here's our opportunity. I mean, this is our best opportunity. We have speed at wide receiver. We have guys who are constantly getting open. And now if you can pair that with the rushing attack, with this dominant offensive line, maybe we're cooking with gas, Jake. Maybe if things go right, we can be in this game late with a puncher's chance.
That's all you could ask for. That will show me a lot. That would be encouraging. And look, I understand there's a lot of Jet fans who don't want to see a win, and I get that. But a competitive loss to me is better than just getting blown out. I think there's value in that. I think the one thing you could say about this Jets team, I don't think they've quit on the coach. They're not as talented as some of these teams they played. They certainly are at a QB deficit in basically all these games, besides maybe the game they won against the Browns, where, I mean, Gabriel did play better than Fields did that day, but it's not like he's clearly the better quarterback like Lamar versus Tyrod or Lamar versus Fields would be. What I want to see from Tyrod is just an opportunity to really evaluate the other guys on this team. Doing the film review yesterday on our show with Joe Blowett, you see guys getting open. Like, I think Tanner Engstrand had a real good plan. I'd like to see what he could do for a couple of games here with Tyrod. I just hope Tyrod could stay healthy so we get a true evaluation. Unfortunately, his history is when he plays, he's going to get hurt. It's just a matter of, does he get hurt right away? Does he last a couple games? That's really the question I have, because when you're trying to evaluate your team, it's a lot easier to do it when you have a conventional quarterback who you could have the full caliber of your offensive playbook open. Like, you don't have to try and dumb it down because of Fields' limitations. Like, Tyrod might not be great, but at least he's going to stand in there, be willing to take a hit. He's going to stand in there, throw the ball downfield. He'll process faster than Fields will. So you at least get a better idea on what you have from a coordinator standpoint. And some of these receivers who were getting open, like, yes, A.D. Mitchell had some drops. He's also getting open against Christian Gonzalez last Thursday. That's, to me, notable. I want to see more from him. Like, how many receivers do we have on this team right now that can play a real role on the 2026 Jets? We know Garrett Wilson, and then after that, a bunch of question marks. So I want to get some answers to those questions over these final 7 games.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw some good things. We saw some timing be off with Fields. We targeted this. I know a lot of us have been calling for this for a long time, but I always looked at either the bye week or the extended week off with the Thursday night game as when you make your move. And it appears as if Glenn has done that. And Tyrod will throw the ball. You might not like his decisions, but he will stand in the pocket and he will throw the ball, and he will know the offense, and he will throw with some anticipation. And now when you have the wide receivers, Jake, getting open in their breaks, in their cuts, and the ball is there on time, they have the ability to do this thing that other teams in the NFL do. It's called yards after catch. Not just catch the ball because it gets there late and get tackled, or have the ball knocked out because the defender then gains ground and breaks up the pass. But there is a thing called yards after catch. And maybe we could see these guys with this elite speed, because as much as we loved Arian Smith, Mitchell's faster. Mitchell ran a 4.32. Smith ran 4.35 at the combine, and then you got Mechie, who's a burner as well. So if we can get the ball out in rhythm against the Ravens defense that has been given up a lot in terms of points and downfield attack, it's not the same Ravens team that everyone thinks. You hear the word Ravens and you just assume defensive dominance, right? It's not that anymore. So let's see what we can do, man. Maybe we catch lightning in a bottle, and I know there's going to be a portion of the fan base, like you mentioned, who are going to be irate if we win games. But at this point, I want to know that what we have. I want to see what a functioning offense in a Tanner Engstrand system looks like. That to me is more important than giving up an extra pick to move up and get a quarterback in the future.
I'm with you. And look, the Ravens, they need this game, so there's no way they could overlook the Jets here. They're in a contested battle with Pittsburgh for the division. They've been playing better since Lamar came back, but they literally have very little wiggle room here. So, I mean, they've won 4 in a row since they started 1-5. Their defense, which was so bad at the beginning of the year, has played really well during their winning streak. They've allowed the second fewest points per game in the NFL, 14.3 per game since week 8. They had allowed 32.3 points per game through the first 6 weeks of the season. So their defense has been a lot better. It's not a great matchup for the Jets, but they have a better chance of making something happen, I believe, with Tyrod Taylor. So time will tell on that one. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. I see some people in the chat. Rick Kent says Brandon Stevens revenge game. It's also a Tyrod Taylor revenge game if we want to go back way down the line. Tyrod drafted by the Ravens and was Joe Flacco's backup for a bunch of years before he went to the Bills after that. So, yes, Brandon Stevens' revenge game. How sweet would it be if Stevens is the Jet that got the first interception on the season against his old team?
Hold on, Jake. I got to Google what is an interception. Excuse me.
You know that thing that Ashton Davis did in Week 18 last year twice? That's the last time it's happened for the Jets.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I knew it. I've seen it before. Maybe on the History Channel. I got to check. Yeah, and I pretty much Tyrod Taylor could have a revenge game every week, right? Like, how many teams can we go down the schedule and check a Taylor revenge game? I would love to see it. I would love to see this defense get a little comfortable. I know Black Gypsy is getting white knuckled right now with just the thought of Wilkes having a good game. But I want to see them turn the corner. I want to see the schemes come to life. I want to see them get more comfortable in it. I know there's sometimes a learning curve with the players and the coaches and the play calling. I'm looking forward of momentum going into 2026, right? I think we all believe we're going to get a quarterback. I want to see the quarterback coming in to a well-coached team. I want to see him coming into a team where the system looks good. We just need better play at the quarterback position. And you make an addition at wide receiver, and now you got a competent, deep, athletic wide receiver room for a young quarterback to thrive in. I know we're going to make some changes to the defense. We're going to make a bunch of additions with all the money that we have and the draft capital. But we got to know what we have with the coaching staff is good to go for 2026. So that's my focus from going on out here.
Completely agree. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. If the Jets are going to pull off a win, this guy, you'd imagine, is going to have a huge game. Today's raffle prize, if we get 25 memberships this show, is a big one. A signed helmet by Jets running back Breece Hall. So make sure you enter the raffle for your chance to win. If you enter for the Breece Hall signed helmet, you are automatically entered in our weekly raffle series every Tuesday on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of Raffle 49 were announced yesterday, and here is a big one. Raffle 50. We kick it off with a signed football by the late, great Nick Mangold. Prize 2, the best right tackle in the league, baby. Future All-Pro Armand Membu. Signed jersey by the number 7 pick in the draft. And prize 3 is a signed Wayne Krebet football. So those are the raffle prizes for the upcoming week. It's Raffle 50. Let's go. And we'll kick off a daily raffle with a Breece Hall signed helmet up for grabs at the end of today's show. Black Gypsy has gifted our first membership today, so he enters the Asmaniac raffle for one. Hollywood Rio with a $10 super chat qualifies for the raffle for 2. He says OBJ was reinstated. Should we pick him up? 33-year-old Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champ. OBJ is just a name at this point. He hasn't been good in years, if we're being honest. Like, what's the purpose of Beckham at age 33? I'd rather evaluate Mitchell, Mechie, Arian Smith, who are in their mid-20s who have a future here. OBJ coming in on a 2-18. What's the purpose of that?
No, it's not even going to be entertained at all by the Jets. Is my audio better? Do you hear me better now? Am I louder?
You sound fine. You were a little low, but I thought it might have been on my end.
Okay. Yeah, it's the Jets aren't even going to entertain that, in my opinion. There's no reason to. He's going to be looking maybe just tag along with the team who can go on a run, or a team that has a run and plan and maybe gets an injury for a couple weeks. it's a non-Jet story.
Yeah, I mean, look, OBJ was once upon a time a phenomenal football player. He hasn't been that in years, seriously. And I just think it'd be a distraction too. And the Jets are 2-8. Why are we adding a 33-year-old when you're 2-8? You add guys that are young that have a chance to actually play for you. That's why I thought to give Darren Muji credit with these trades of Sauce and Quinnen and Michael Carter. They were able to bring back young players that have some sort of upside that you could evaluate, especially with the two receivers. I mean, they had a major void at receiver, and it took a while for them to add some depth to that room, but at least we have it now with A.D. Mitchell. At least we have it now with John Mechie, who played well in his first game as a Jet last Thursday. I'd like to see more from them. I don't want reps to go to OBJ. At this point, OBJ is the same level of player as Allen Lazard. Like, that's the comp.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, wow, that's perfect. I like that.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'd like to usually throw another name out with you, but I think you nailed that. You're not going to get much from him. You know, he played the last time he was good was the Rams Super Bowl in that first half. He was on pace to be the MVP of that Super Bowl.
And then he tore his ACL.
Yeah. And he's really not been, and that's, I think, multiple ACL tears. I don't know if that was the same leg or not, but yeah, you're not going to see him come in and change an offense around or make a team go on a winning streak. He'd be a fourth or fifth and maybe not even active some weeks.
Yeah, I mean, look, the last time OBJ played, because remember, he was suspended for the beginning of the year. That's why he's unsigned. He played with the Dolphins last year. He appeared in 9 games. He had 18 targets. He caught half of them, 9 receptions, 55 yards, 0 touchdowns. He's not good anymore. I don't even know if anyone's going to sign him.
How many drops, Jake? If we're comparing him to Allen Lazard, any drops?
I don't know if I have that available here. Looking at Pro Football, probably
9 catches,
some
9 drops. He's Allen Lazard, baby.
He's got the Lazard in him. Zach has gifted a membership. He is in the raffle for one. Zach, your gifted membership went to listener Boozer32. Shout out to Emerson Boozer, tuned into the show. Apparently, Zach, thank you for your support. Just for fun, he's been watching the show a while. He's an Asmaniac. He's using his free super chat you get when you're a channel member every month. Jake, when can you realistically see us making the playoffs? Purely on feel, I don't think it happens this decade. I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. It's tough to give you a real answer here, right? No one thought that drought would be 15 years and counting. It's tough to say next year, right? Because if the Jets do what I think they're going to do, have a rookie starting most of their games next year, I don't think you can go into next year expecting a playoff season. I don't. So I think the earliest I could see it, and look, things change, right? The Texans went from picking second to winning a playoff game, and now they've done it 2 straight years. And the Commanders were in the championship game a year ago after picking second. You could have a quick turnaround. It just seemingly is never the Jets. But the earliest I see it is, let's say they get Mendoza or Simpson or whoever ends up being their quarterback, and that guy shows some signs. Let's say they go from the 4 wins they win this year to 7 to 8 in 2026. Well, then year 3 with Glenn clearly on the hot seat, make the playoffs or you're out. That would be the earliest I could see it, with the rookie in year 2 using those extra picks they accumulated, the 3 firsts and 27, to surround the roster with talent, and you're all in and you're going for it to end the playoff drought. So the earliest I could see it is 2027. But I got to be honest, I don't even know if I see it then, because I don't have belief in the head coach right now. So I don't think they could make the playoffs in spite of their head coach. I think the coach has got to show that he's a real head coach. And obviously, quarterback is the prerequisite. So the earliest is 27, but I don't even feel confident with that. I got to see more from the head coach.
Checks notes. We're not mathematically eliminated yet. This year, Jake, I'm going this year because obviously the quarterback change is going to make I can't even try to sell that. Yeah, I would. I'm a big believer that if you're going to build it the right way, right, you don't want to be a flash in the pan like the Redskins, where you get there and then you fall off. I want to build sustainable success. And when you have these draft picks and you have this money that we have, it's a very good opportunity to structure this team for short and long-term success. Now, whether that hits immediately next year, or if we're a team that turns on in the middle of the year next year and just misses out on the playoffs and there's big hopes in 27, it's built it so that year after year after year, we're there. And we have the opportunity where when you pick division winners or you pick the playoff teams, the Jets are in that conversation every single year. I don't want 1 year and then we go back into hiding.
Well, you got to get to you got to get there first, though. Yeah, there's something to be said for that. Like, I always use the Bills as a great example of this. They made the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor, ending their 17-year playoff drought. The next year, they actually took a step back, but they traded up for Josh Allen. So they went through the, rookie year growing pains. Darnold was better than Allen as a rookie, if you remember. Remember that game in Buffalo where Sam went in there and they won? Like, to me, success is not always, lateral. So it takes time. There's not always an upward trajectory, I should say, for it. What I would like to see, though, is that if they get their quarterback this offseason, they're in position to end the playoff drought. They're in the hunt in December of next year for sure. And then they're in a position where they're a playoff team in 27. Like, that to me is a realistic goal for this regime.
Playoffs. Just the thought of it is warm and fuzzy on the inside. We haven't had it in so long.
15
my daughter's going to be
years.
15 in a few weeks. The last time we had a playoff game, she was 1 month old.
Crazy.
Sad. This organization hurts, man.
Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. JD says, with the capital we have, no reason we can't be a real NFL team in 2027. I mean, they could be a real NFL team next year if they get the quarterback situation figured out. What if Fernando Mendoza is CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels or Ty Simpson is Andrew? Like, we don't know. We all say, I don't love these quarterbacks. But, like, no one thought Jackson Dart was worthy of a first-round pick at this time last year. I didn't think he was worthy of a first-round pick going into the draft. I thought maybe you trade back in and take him at the end of the first. And the Giants obviously did exactly that. And they were right. Like, you don't know. And we don't know how the Jets coaches will feel about a certain guy. Like, everyone's going to have their own opinion on these QBs. And we just don't know. There's no perfect QB prospect. If you sit around waiting for the right one, that right QB prospect might never pan out, and you might not be in position to even get the guy you truly want. So I don't know where you fall on this, Nick, but I'm all in on finding a way to get our long-term quarterback answer this offseason, find the guy in the draft, and let's go from there.
Yeah, I just want to correct one thing. There was one guy we know who's pretty big and quite the fella who was in on Jackson Dart. There was one guy who knew Jackson Dart was the guy. The big fella was very adamant that Jackson Dart was the man. So shout out to him.
So was Purple Belt Mike, another regular.
Yeah. So you have to. I mean, you have all this draft capital. You're not going to sit and wait, in my opinion. You have this capital. You are going to pounce. And the most important thing for Jets fans right now, in my opinion, is the Titans end up with the number 1 pick. You don't want the Saints to get there. You don't want the Browns to get there. It's got to be the Titans. I don't see the Titans winning many games. They obviously need a lot of help. And we could be the team to help them. You help us. We help you. Let's get our quarterback. You get a bunch of draft capital to rebuild your team. And we go all in for it. I firmly believe right now, I don't know what the odds are or if there are odds out there, but I would say that the Jets have the number 1 pick. And if they don't earn it, they will acquire the number 1 pick. There's no reason to sit. If Mendoza or Simpson, whoever they declare, I'm a Mendoza guy, as you know. If that's your guy, you don't risk it. If this is the guy, either of them, if any of the quarterbacks become your guy where you say, we can't miss out on him, you're not going to sit and wait and you don't have this draft capital to play games. You don't have this draft capital to have egg on your face. You go and you say, this is our guy. We're going to get him. Done. Who cares? If there's a bidding war, you can't get outbid if the New York Jets. Nobody can pay more than you. The Titans, if they're number 1, I'm sure they want that. I'm sure they want Cleveland, the Jets, Vegas trying to jump up to get a quarterback. They want more teams in the mix so they can get more profit from this. But yeah, I do not think that any other team but the New York Jets will be drafted number 1 this year.
Well, here's the thing. I agree with you that the Jets can't be outbid, but there is a fine line between, being aggressive and being willing to trade from your surplus of picks and being reckless, right? Now, if you're right, and let's say they trade multiple ones to move up, and it's Fernando Mendoza in this scenario, and he's awesome. No one's going to care. The risk is you also made these picks to surround that quarterback with the infrastructure he needs to be successful. And this team's got a lot of things they got to clean up. Not as many as, maybe they had with Sam or even Zach Wilson that first year, because they do have, to me, some things you want a rookie to already have in place, right? A bookend left and right tackle, a number 1 receiver. Let's say they bring Brees back, which I'm going to assume they are because they didn't take the 4th-round pick from the Chiefs. I think you have something there. So it just depends on how much you're willing to give up. And there's so many different examples in NFL history of it costing this much. And then, well, in this scenario, it costs that. Like, I just want to get an idea on what it would cost. Ideally, the Jets are sitting there. If they can't get 1 or 2, ideally they're at 3. So you're only talking about having to move up 1 or 2 spots to get one of the 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, no one can really offer a lot to drive it up for us, right? None of those teams have what we have. So they can't, no one's going to want a 2028 pick if we can give a 2027 additional pick, right? They're going to want the payoff quicker. So in terms of what we have compared to what the other teams have, they can't drive us up into a ridiculous compensation cloud because they don't have that. We're in the driver's seat, in my opinion, for the number 1 pick, no matter where we end up. Now, obviously, the further down the draft we fall, the higher the draft chart, the compensation will be. But I can't see a team driving it up so high. And I saw a comment from Dylan that just popped in. The biggest thing to help the Jets too is another quarterback declaring. If more comes out, now if you're Cleveland sitting there or you're Vegas sitting there, all right, we don't have to go all the way up. We have, for example, 3 quarterbacks. We have a Mendoza, we have Simpson, we have more. We have guys that we think we can get and work with us. We don't have to go up to 1. We may have to just get to 5 if they're not already there. So it's going to be interesting. You know, it's draft season, Jake, already. It's not even Thanksgiving, and we are fully fixated on the NFL draft at the end of April. But
We do, baby. November 19th. It's mock draft season.
that's it. But I think if you're a Jet fan and you're looking forward and you're looking at this situation, I think you should really be confident that we're going to go get our guy. Now, whether that guy works out, that's still to be determined. But I don't think the Jets are going to sit and pick and let the draft fall to them. They are going to be aggressive. They're going to drive the 2026 NFL draft and probably the 27 draft as well.
Well, the reality is, for those saying, oh, wait till 2027, here's what Muji and Glenn would be facing at that point. What happens if in 2026 they bring in a Kyler Murray type of quarterback or whoever the bridge is? Let's say they maybe draft someone on day 2 or day 3. Let's use Drew Allen from Penn State because people seem to know him the most because he almost came out last year. And let's say the Jets go out there and, they win 5 or 6 games. Are Glenn and Muji guaranteed a year 3 in that scenario? If, say, they win a total of 8 or 9 games over 2 years, are they getting a third year? I'm not so sure they definitively are. So I think there'll be some pressure internally for the Jets to be aggressive and figure out their quarterback situation this offseason. People might not want to hear that. People will say, be patient. It's going to be better in 2027. I don't know if the Jets can, one, afford patience. And I think in general, this fan base, I don't know if you could tell a Jet fan that is in the midst of a 15-year playoff drought, yeah, we're going to give you another bridge option for next year. It doesn't really matter. And we're going to get our actual quarterback in 2027. And then what? Glenn and Muji in year 3 are on the hot seat, make the playoffs in your 3rd year, you're out. They're going to be getting another mulligan year to, the rookie's got to play and develop. So they go into year 4 without a winning record. That's Robert Saleh all over again. And at that point, Woody's not going to be patient. He fired Saleh 5 games in. So I just think there's a clear timeline for the Jets where you have to make moves towards your quarterback this offseason. Now, the one caveat is, say a bunch of these guys do stay in school, as Dylan pointed out, as a possibility. Well, then you still have to draft someone. You got to probably do what the Saints did. They didn't love any of the quarterbacks at pick 9. So they took Tyler Shuck in the 2nd round to at least have someone that they're going through a developmental process with in a lost season. Like, at least Saints fans are tuning in on Sunday being like, Shuck's been okay so far. Maybe we have something. Like, that's what the Jets would have to do if they're not going to take quarterback in round 1. They would have to do it in the 2nd round like they also did with Geno Smith, if you remember way back in 2013.
Yeah, those were the good old days.
8-8. That was Rex Ryan's best coaching job.
Oh, boy. Why do we deserve this? We don't. Yeah. So in that scenario that you present, you take a quarterback. But then I'm not sure if Glenn is here for year 3. So if you're looking to turn this ship around, you got to go get a guy. And maybe you get him to work out. If not, then you have to go all in and get another guy in 27. And I know people don't want to hear that, drafting quarterback. You draft a quarterback until you get the quarterback. You don't do what the Jets have done so many times and hang on to a failed guy that everyone in the world can see is not going to be the guy. you keep trying till you get it right. It's not ideal, but that would be, in that scenario, what you do.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. For those tuning in late, how about a Brees Hall sign helmet up for grabs today if we get 23 more memberships? If we don't hit that, we'll give away a jersey instead. But you're going to want to enter so you can enter the weekly raffle. It's Raffle 50, Nick Mangold signed football, Armand Bembu signed jersey, Wayne Krebet signed football. Big fella, you mentioned him. He super chat says, thank you, Nick. I was just writing about Dart. Great lunch yesterday, twin. Two of the best Jets YouTubers on the show. Love Wednesdays. Wait a second. You and the big fella wined and dined together yesterday?
We did. He won a prize on my show. He won a Will McDonald mini helmet. I forgot to bring it to the Carolina game, so we've been trying to figure out a time, because the deal is I'm not going to ship it to him. Whenever he wins something, we're going to meet up and have lunch and exchange it in person. So we ended up going to Rutt's Hut yesterday, kind of like a midway point between us, up by the stadium. And yeah, good time. Always a good time. I
love it.
Him. Good dude.
Two gigantic human beings, Nick Shine and the big fella, whining and dining together.
There was a massive human being that came in there. He was Peter Griffin in real life.
Wow. Strong. Yeah, real strong. Hey, speaking of eating, a week from tomorrow, you know what day it is?
A week from tomorrow.
That's right. It's almost Thanksgiving, baby. Rick Kent in the house. How about a 5-spot of channel memberships? Rick, the first to gift a 5-spot for the community. Rick Kent, man of the people.
Show me the money. Show me the money! Money.
Rick's 5 memberships went to the following 5 listeners who are now Asmaniac channel members: Gregory Jean, Gilbert Farmer, Derek the Cop, Jonathan Casino, and Team Curry, all receiving a membership there from our guy, Rick Kent. We got this one from Bank Koo 67. He's been a channel member. 67. Is that what the kids say? He's been a channel member for 17 months. There are no generational QBs to trade up for. Build the roster with blue chip guys using the premium picks. Find a quarterback you could build up. Trading up, don't guarantee zip. I agree with the premise. But even if there was a generational quarterback, the last 2 that had that label have not been that good. Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence. Their teams have had moments of success because they've had good coaching here or there. I think especially with what Ben Johnson's doing. It's not like Caleb's been unbelievable this year. They're winning a lot of low-score games. Their defense leads the NFL and forced turnovers. Coaching still matters. So, yes, I agree with the premise of building the roster. But you need to get a quarterback on your team that you're building around. There's no bridge guy that offers upside available this offseason. They tried it with Fields. It didn't work. Now you got to go and get your quarterback, and you still have plenty of ammunition, whether it be the $100 million you have in cap space or the boatload of picks you still would have even in some sort of trade-up scenario to improve your team. That's the bottom line. Like, you need to still find your quarterback, and the easiest way to do it is to draft one early in the first round. That is where most of the starting quarterbacks in the league come from. Are there exceptions? Obviously. But if you look at starters in the NFL, most of them are first-round guys. That's just how the position works. So, yes, there's no guarantee, even if there was a generational QB. That's my point. Get your quarterback this offseason and build around him. That's what you have to do.
Absolutely. And we have to factor this in as well. Aaron Glenn is not going to be guaranteed a 3rd year. Do you want to get the one shot that you have at being an NFL head coach and never go get a quarterback? Do you want to have 2 years of failed bridges? No. You're going to go and get a quarterback because you're going to tie your coaching to this kid. That's got to be factored in. You're not going to sell Justin Fields, be a big disaster, and then say, now we're going to go get another guy and we're going to wait a year for the quarterback. You might not be here for that. And you don't want to look back with regret and say, man, I never went and got a quarterback. If I would have had the opportunity to get a quarterback, maybe it would have been different. You're going to go get the quarterback. And if it doesn't work, you go get another one the following year. You
Right.
don't stick with the guy who's a failure. If the kid can't play, if he's Zach Wilson 2.0, okay, the Jets, might not be Glenn, but the Jets will go and get another quarterback the following year.
I double up on QB this year, even if in a scenario like that. Like, take someone in round 1, take someone on day 3, and have another guy in the pipeline. Wouldn't it be great if the Jets did that this year? they're like, oh, Brady Cook. Well, Brady Cook clearly doesn't appear to be an option. I was listening to Rich Samini's podcast, and he's like, I don't think you see him at all this year. So, we'll find out if that's true or not. But, if Kyle McCord was on the Jets right now, we probably would see him at some point here. And, because we don't have that player, it's 36-year-old Tyrod Taylor, who's made of glass, and we're likely going to end up having to see Justin Fields start another game. Like, every time we think this is the end for insert which previous Jet quarterback we're done with, they always have 9 lives and play again. Zach Wilson was the greatest example of this. Every time that's it for Zach, he kept playing and playing. It never ends. So, to me, keep going quarterback after quarterback till you get someone. Doesn't all have to be in the first round, obviously, but to me, it's a prudent strategy. You look at what the Niners did. They had Trey Lance. They also took Brock Purdy a year later. You look at what happened with the Redskins, who are now the Commies. They took 2 quarterbacks in the same draft with RG3 and Kirk Cousins. So quarterback, and Bang Mateo. I don't say this often, but I actually agree with him. He says the QB is part of the roster and the most important one. Exactly. People say build up the roster. Yeah, that includes quarterback, where you can't do anything in this league unless you have one.
Yeah, he's right. It doesn't matter if you have an all-world offensive line. We're seeing it. I'm not saying we're all-world, but we have a top 10 offensive line. We're not getting the ball out. It doesn't matter if you have a great punter. You're using him too much. It doesn't matter if you got a guy leading the league in sacks like Cleveland does. You're not winning if you don't have a quarterback. It's the most important position in all of sports. And having all these other nice little side pieces is like having a car with no engine. The quarterback is the engine that drives the car. If you don't have that, you have nothing. And right now we have nothing. And that's why we're picking in the top 10 year after year after year, as are a lot of the other teams who are up there with us, because you don't have the guy. Coincidence that the teams that have the guy are perennial playoff teams year after year? No. You have to have them.
The only exception is Mike Tomlin. Really, he's the only one who's despite not having a real quarterback, he's been able to figure it out. But all the teams that consistently are in the playoffs every year, the common thing is they have a franchise quarterback. That's it. You have outlier years every once in a while. The Jets were a part of that in 15 with Fitz. Should have made the playoffs. We'll see what the Colts end up being. They're kind of having that now with Daniel Jones. Minnesota was a flash in the pan with Darnold last year. But the teams that are consistently there every year, right? We start the NFL season and everyone picks the same 3 to 4 teams in the NFL to win every year. It's the teams that have the quarterback, right? Chiefs, Bills, Ravens. That's where the conversation is. The Bengals with Burrow. You get the benefit of the doubt when you have the franchise guy. Tyrone in the raffle for 2 with this. Thank you, Tyrone. He says, in my first time as a Jet fan, I won't care. So he's saying it's his first time as a Jet fan. He won't care if we lose to get the number 1 pick, but he won't be mad if they win. I like the OC. He has no QB, so it's hard for him. All I can say is draft day is Super Bowl for us. Look, I won't tell anyone how to fan. I get it. People aren't rooting for wins, and that's fine, because if you don't want to trade up, it's a lot easier to just pick your quarterback if you're sitting there, in the top 2. You're guaranteed to get one of the 2 consensus guys that come out.
Yeah, we're jumping. I am 100% convinced we're jumping, and I'll be shocked if we stick and pick. The only way we don't stick and pick, the only way we will, in my opinion, is if we end up at number 2. And we have 2 guys that we declare that we can get. Other than that, the Jets are moving up. Also, I want to get ahead of the curve here on something, because when the Jets win Sunday, I cannot wait for the conversations about Glenn never had a quarterback competition. He gave it to Fields right away. Taylor should have been the guy, or they should have had a competition. I'm getting ahead of the curve on that, Jake, right now. So when we win Sunday, that will be the conversation. What would our season look like if we had a competition and Taylor won it? I can see that being a heavy point of discussion.
They're not going to win Sunday. I don't think you're anything to worry
stop
about.
Your negativity, Asman.
They have no chance to win Sunday. None. I save the tape. I'd love to be wrong. Eli says, Jake, still waiting on those top 3 picks for your Asmaniac Thanksgiving football game. You want picks for the NFL games being played on Thanksgiving, or this question is about who I would take from the Asmaniac community if I was playing a flag football game or a 2-hand touch football game on Thanksgiving, Eli? I need more clarity on what the specific question is here.
Why not both?
I haven't looked at the Thanksgiving slate in depth yet. Packers-Lions is game 1. Chiefs Cowboys game 2. The night game is Bengals Ravens. So, look, I'll be watching. I'm also doing a morning drive on ESPN New York from 6 to 10 on Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday. So I'll be talking plenty about those games.
Nice. Good for you, man. I'm happy for you.
Green bean in the house. This is all well and good, but if I hear Marcus Mariota talk, I just might be out. Oh, man. No way. I'm with you, GB. No chance. By the way, I'm going to be at the Matt O'Leary wedding on Saturday with Green Bean, and I'm hearing lots of rumblings of Green Bean and Jeremy Jets Chaos completely dominating the mashed potato bar at the O'Leary wedding. So you guys better save some mashed potatoes for me. Don't eat all of it.
I could definitely see that. I could see them fighting over it too. How
I
about
love
Marcus
some mashed
Mariota
potatoes.
how about Mariota as the backup to a rookie? Is Green Bean out on that, or is Green Bean just out on him as the bridge quarterback, for example?
Probably is the bridge.
I would be okay with Mariota as a backup, like a Tyrod Taylor is now. Mariota's been around the league for a while. He wouldn't be a bad backup to mentor the rookie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Capable.
I don't know. I've never been in love with Mariota. When he quit on the Falcons a couple years ago, it kind of soured me.
Okay.
But we'll see. There's not a whole lot of great options. There just isn't. Eli says, I want the second option. Give me 3 Asmaniacs you're taking with those top 3 picks in your Thanksgiving football game. Man. I don't know. Well, I mean, it's flag football, right? So we don't need an offensive line. So that kind of eliminates some of our hefty, big and strong callers. I want speed and quickness. Mr. Bonesy, I think, could be my quarterback. He's got the leadership skills you want. I've seen him throw the football. He's got a cannon for an arm.
I love Bonesy, but he don't have this arm.
No? You think you'd be a good quarterback on our flag football team?
I'll take a squad. I'll put a squad up against yours, Jake.
I got to think this over.
I'll quarterback a game against Bonesy.
Yeah, I don't want to just throw some names out there and leave people out. Eli, I will take your comment under serious consideration here before I give you a proper answer. Now, Ralphie writes in the Asmaniac sack exchange, the big fella, Nick Shine, Kyle Clifton, ISU. Yes, if we're trying to build the best defensive line, I do think Ralphie has nailed it as someone who has met big fella, Nick Shine, Kyle Clifton in person many times. And I think ISU I've met in person. I believe he was in Tampa this year and I met him. He might have been at my event in Vegas prior to that, but I definitely have met ISU now I think of it. I think he nailed it. I think that would definitely be a good start to our Asmaniac sack exchange.
I mean, we might be bigger and stronger than the current Jets defensive line.
Black Gypsy says, I'm Revis. I'm playing corner. How about that? PBM says, I ran a 4.4 in high school, played wingback, receiver, DB. I want PBM as my kick returner, punt returner. But he's got to get his knee healthy.
OBJ right now. PBM equals OBJ. He's on the DL.
Boomtown says, sounds like we need to update the all 22 Asmaniac roster. Boom, send me the original all 22 when we did this a couple of years ago. Let's see who was on the team then that wouldn't make it now. And we might have to redo this because when you're a 2-8 football team, these are the type of things you talk about on a Jet YouTube show.
He had me at guard going up against Green Bean as a defensive tackle. And I was like, this would be the greatest thing in the world. Me and Green Bean just get to hit one another every day in practice.
Connor Long in the house. Connor, are you at school right now watching this? Or is there just a random Wednesday off for the fine students of, I think, Port Washington School District, but I could be wrong. Mac Jones trade. Shine, Asman. Look, of the options, I understand why Mac Jones could be somewhat appealing, right? You want to say he's like dollar store Jared Goff because of like Engstrand being able to call plays for him. Maybe. I just don't like Mac Jones as a person, man. He's such a dirtbag with the way he like grabs people's junk and like just dirty player, flops. I'm not a Mac Jones fan. Now, if he helped the Jets win, yeah, I'd look past it. And he's played well with Shanahan this year, but I don't know. It depends what I would have to give up. And I'm not convinced that the Niners would even trade him, right? Like Brock Purdy's been hurt a lot. They have a legit backup. They were smart enough to give a two-year contract to. Why would they get rid of him? Like, I don't know. It would depend on the cost, though, Connor. And if they did acquire Mac Jones, then I still would be drafting a quarterback in the first round, and Mac Jones plays till that rookie's ready. That's how I'd look at it.
And yeah, I'm not a Jones guy. Never was, never will be. I know he's played nice there under Shanahan, but let him stay there.
Like if they
I
want a
always root
fourth
for
round
the
pick,
I
are you
don't have
doing it?
jerseys, right? I
I
don't
wouldn't.
wear jerseys. I wear team gear all the time. I would have a hard time rooting for that guy on this team. Like I do not like Jones, at all. Like you said, everything you listed, he's dirty, he's an arrogant prick. I don't like him at all. I wouldn't like him on this team.
Yeah,
I wouldn't like him near a young quarterback either. That's another thing. Because he seems like he's that a-hole in every high school movie that's like the villain, like the bad guy that like you just don't like and everyone hates, but he shows up and he plays decently. No, I'm good.
Yep, I think I agree with that. Who Green Bean wrote, I'm bringing Darnell Washington tight end energy to the potato bar. Hey, now, this is Green Bean at the potato bar on Saturday.
Gobble, 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 gobble.
You'd be gobbling all that up, man. Good Lord.
That's fantastic.
I'm excited. What crazy Jet story is 1,000% going to break Saturday night, causing all the Jet content creators at the Matt O'Leary wedding to have to go live?
Oh man, if I don't get overtime, I might have to do a show Saturday night to get call-ins from the wedding.
Something's happening.
I'm sure that I'm sure it'll be a great time. God bless Matt and his wife. I think that it's awesome that all you guys are getting together. That'll be fantastic.
Something is happening. I don't know what, but something Jet related has to happen. Team Curry checks in. Thank you, Rick Kent. You put me on the O-line or fullback for the Thanksgiving Day. Team Curry checking in, thanking Rick Kent for his membership. Yeah, Team Curry's a great dude.
Guy. He's a big dude.
For
I'm
those
pretty
just tuning
sure
in,
that Boomtown did that March or April of 2024, because it was right around when you and I started becoming friends through this. So
bold
I'm
of you
pretty
to
sure it
assume
was
we're
March
friends.
or April 2024.
I said bold of you to assume we're friends.
I'm trying to be positive here on the show, Jake. Don't need your negativity raining down in my personal life on top of the Jet world, pal.
J-Quest says it'd be corny to call in from a wedding. Would it be, though? I think it'd be funny. A quick poppin'? Be corny. Why not?
As long as it's not during the ceremony, Jake Quest. It's not like, oh, hold up, priest, hold up. Hey, everyone say hi. No, that would be.
Yeah, Matt's
But if you step outside.
Matt's wife is walking down the aisle, and like here's like Green Bean and I being like, man, like the Jets got to get this quarterback thing figured out.
O'Leary walking down the aisle with cement shoes.
I've done something similar at a wedding before. I'm trying to. It's going to take me a little bit to find the video, but I'll find it. The Knicks were playing a playoff game against the Cavs a few years ago, and I had a wedding right in the middle of game one. And my friend got a video of me on my phone watching the game. Oh, I got it. All right. This is great. Hold on. We'll show this. What else are we talking about today?
And shout out to the NFL for doing this.
Hold on.
We don't have never mind.
You ready for this?
Go hit it.
All right. Did you hear that music that briefly played?
I did not.
Okay. Well, I don't know if people will be able to hear it. You guys let me know in the chat, but you definitely could visualize what's happening here. So this is a wedding a couple of years ago.
Asman.
It's game one of the playoffs, man. You can't have a wedding during a Knicks playoff game. What are we doing?
Asman.
Come on now. Knicks Cavs. Knicks won, by the way, and I went absolutely nuts celebrating that night. It was tremendous.
Good for you. You're a big Knicks fan. You deserve it.
Yep. I was also in the aisle seat too, so I really just didn't care.
Visible to everybody walking down. Usually you got to sit in the back right if you want to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I regret absolutely nothing either. I see Jay Quest is like, Jesus, Jay, take your holier than now attitude and find a different show, Jay Quest. You softy.
You humped Bobby Midnight into the ground. Are you the barometer of decency in this world, Jay
Great
Quest?
point. Great point. This guy's trying to scold me on ethics. Where's this video?
Yeah. You met a guy, you humped him, and you knocked him on the ground and almost split his head open on a car door within 6 seconds of meeting him.
Oh no!
This is the guy that's trying to be the arbiter of what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
How about you do this, Jay Quest? Don't hump old disabled guys and knock them to the ground when you meet them. Why don't you do that, you cornball?
Yeah, Jay Quest. How dare you? All right. let's get to some calls, shall we? Comments, questions, super chats. They will continue to cut the line. I did want to mention again, Brees Hall signed helmet is the giveaway. We're a little light on memberships. I will carry it over to the second show, and we'll do a jersey raffle instead at the end. But I thought the Brees Hall helmet would be cool. If not, we'll do it on the second show. We'll do a jersey at the end here. But either way, you should enter because then you'll be entered in raffle 50 for Wayne Corvette football, Armand Membu signed jersey, and a Nick Mangold signed helmet as our top prize. Nick, your camera was knocked out. You're back now, so we should be good. Ladies and gentlemen, some super chats, then right to the calls. Jason says, Mendoza 2026. Make it happen. So Jason is aligned with you as a Mendoza man.
That's it, man. Hashtag mayhem for Mendoza. We're entering the eye of the storm soon, Jake.
Jet Life. A lot of people saying we should trade for Mac. I'm not opposed to it. If it's cheap and we can still get another quarterback just in case. Well, the only way I'm open to it is if you're still drafting someone early. And I would need to know what it costs because I'm not trading away like a day 2 pick, a second or a third rounder for Mac Jones. I'm not. I don't even know if I want to trade away a fourth, honestly. I think he's a product of being with Kyle Shanahan more than like him being this awesome quarterback. So that would concern me.
Yeah, I think we could still find somebody else on free agency as a veteran who can come in and be a good mentor. Say a Mariota type, right? Someone who knows he's a backup, someone who's not going to still have hopes of being that starter, someone who's not going to rock the boat, someone who's a decent person, because that matters if you're going to be a backup and a mentor. Yeah, I have no interest in Mac Jones as a human or a quarterback being on part of the Jets.
Beastbreaker has weighed in. He says no deal for Mac Jones.
That's it. Also, that would be the fullback in a 7-on-7. We're doing a flag football league. How would you even see the flags on the side of them with the belly hanging over?
The refrigerator. Perry meet Beastbreaker.
We've seen him. He's agile. We've seen his moves.
Oh yeah, I've seen him move. Look at this.
Get right,
I've also seen him do this.
Hope you enjoy the landing.
And this.
And
I've seen it all. That's a guy you want on your team.
I'll take him. I'll hand off to him at the end zone. Who's going to want to go near him?
You'd be
Who's going to
afraid
want
of
to go
this.
pull that
I might
flag?
be big. I might be bad, but I'm going to take your ass down.
Damn right.
Yeah, I'll take him in a 7-on-7. I'll put him in the backfield. Give him a toss pitch to the outside. Let him get his momentum going. Who's going to want to get in front of him?
Certainly not me. Certainly not me.
Oh, shit.
All right, to your calls. Let's say hi to Jack, who's first today. What's up, Jack?
What's going on, Jake? What's going on, Nick? Nick, did I hear you right? Are you suggesting the Jets are going to be trading up for a quarterback in this year's class?
They are. And I know you're not a Mendoza fan, so I expect this to be a good back and forth, but I believe that they will. If they pinpoint their guy, I don't think they're going to sit and wait and have somebody jump them. I just don't. We need a quarterback, dude.
It sounds like you want them to trade up for Mendoza, but what are you giving up for Mendoza? What are you comfortable with the package?
It depends where we fall out and what the draft chart is, right?
All right, let's say it's the same order today, right? You're picking fifth. You've got the Browns, the Titans, and whatever other teams in front of you. Like, where are you getting up to, and what are you comfortable giving up for a quarterback?
I'd have to look at the value chart, but I would give up, obviously, 5. I'd give up a 2. They'd probably want the other 1, but I would give up R2. I would give up a 1 next year and start there.
You would give up, so you'd be trading 2 1s and a 2 to move up
to go from 5 to 1. Yeah, that probably won't even be enough.
I think that's insanity with the amount of holes. First of all, you're putting Mendoza on the same roster
Still
now.
have 6 picks though, Jack, in the first 2 rounds the next 2 years.
I mean, they've got holes all over the roster. Like, you need QB, you need wide receiver 2, you need wide receiver 3, you need a tight end 2, D tackle. You probably need an edge for first and second down, a linebacker, a corner, a couple safeties. Like, I just think trading up, and again, like, I don't want this to turn into a Mendoza trash fest because I feel like I like Mendoza as a quarterback. I just do not see what everyone else sees with like the high end traits. And I know you guys are going to say his superpowers, his accuracy, and all of that. I see a guy like, you guys are crapping on Mac Jones a little bit. Like, I see Mac Jones plus, like a slightly better Mac Jones is Fernando Mendoza to me.
Well, I mean, Jack, one thing you got to consider though is you're saying all these holes now. They could fill some of them with trades and free agency before we even get to the draft. And like, if you don't have the quarterback, what do you really have? Like, the whole point of also having a quarterback is your roster is never going to be perfect unless I guess you're like the Eagles, which is like a one of one scenario in the league. Like, you're gonna have holes on your team. Every team does. The quarterback is able to mask some of that if you get it right. Like if the Jets even had good quarterback play this year, for all my concerns with the coaching staff, I'd be the first to acknowledge they'd have more wins if they got better quarterback play. Like, that's a direct correlation to like winning in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I think after what we've seen with the Mark Sanchez's, maybe Sanchez not so much because he actually had a supporting cast, but with Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold, like those guys came into situations where they had zero support, and you almost couldn't evaluate them fairly because you were going, they're throwing to street free agents at wide receiver, and it's like I get that the current state of the Jets will be better for the next quarterback, but if I'm this organization, like you've got 3 picks in 2027 or 2027, supposedly a better quarterback class. And I think it will be a much better quarterback class than what we're seeing this year, depending on whether Dante Moore comes out. I don't say you punt on this quarterback class. Like if a Mendoza falls to you at 5 or a Ty Simpson falls to you at 5, I've got no problem making the selection there. But I don't think you go trading assets for a guy that's not like a clear cut consensus QB1. And right now, like I got Jake, I think you cut me off last time when I said this. Like I made the argument that Mendoza might very well be available mid first round. I stand by that today. Like I don't think when the dust settles and the scouts dig into the tape and they look at the Big Ten competition and all of that, I don't know that I don't think he'll be QB1. I think Ty Simpson will be QB1. But Mendoza slipping wouldn't surprise me. I just think it's crazy to start trading assets for a guy that
it depends on the assets, Jack. Like, because that's why you make these trades to have a plethora of them where you could deal from a strength and still have a lot left over. If he does start to fall, then the Jets should do what the Giants just did, where they took Abdul Carter and then traded back into round 1 to get Dart. Now, the advantage the Jets have in that scenario is they have the second pick from Indy this year. So you 100%. Could use that and something else to get back into the teens in this scenario where Dart is. Let's say you would have to trade the Colt pick and, a 2 next year or one of your 2s this year. Like, I'm doing that if I can get my quarterback and I'm still getting some stud in the top 5, wherever that is. Maybe it's one of the pass rushers that's good, or, the stud receiver from Arizona State people love, or one of the other guys from Ohio State that are amazing. Like, I could see that as a possibility. It's just, 1, it's depressing to have these conversations on November 19th. But 2, I think they're coming away somehow with a quarterback in the draft. Just like we knew somehow the Giants were going to come away with someone last year. They had to. I think the Jets are going to be faced with that same type of pressure. I don't think they could afford to wait till 27.
And Jack, what I'm saying is I like Mendoza. Doesn't mean the Jets are going to. If Simpson's their guy, we're jumping, in my opinion. If the Jets label a quarterback as that's our guy, we got to have him, they're jumping. It could be Simpson. It could be Moore if he declares. But I fully believe the Jets are not going to sit and wait and if they declare that this is the guy we have to have, they're going to get him. They're not going to play any games.
Yeah, I think they need QB3 to enter the chat here, and that needs to be Dante Moore. Like, if it's a 2 quarterback race, then I see scenarios where both could go in the top 5. If Dante Moore enters, I think you might have one of those guys slip down, and it's all going to be a matter of preferences for the coach and the fit and the scheme and all of that.
And say we're at 5 for Tennessee's perspective, right? If you're going to have multiple quarterbacks go and you get that 3rd quarterback, you can bump back to 5 and still get one of the pass rushers, Bain or Reese. You can get one of those big pieces to add to your defense, or you can trade back and you can take the top wide receiver on your board at 5 instead of taking him at 1 if you're the Titans. So you can get back to 5 and still get a really good player to help the team in great need, in my opinion.
Yeah. Last point is the bridge quarterback here. Mac Jones, I have no interest in. I think that's a complete kind of scheme revital that we've seen Kyle Shanahan do with anyone who's come through those doors. Gardner Minshew, I don't like him. He's kind of like a poor man's Baker Mayfield. And you can't afford to be a poor man's Baker Mayfield. It's play quarterback in the NFL. But someone like that, a warm body to keep the seat warm, he's going to win you a couple of games. Next season's going to be a wash anyway. I would almost prefer that any quarterback they come in here, unless it's Mendoza, who I think is probably a bit more pro ready than a Ty Simpson. But if it's a Ty Simpson, like that guy shouldn't be seeing the field before like week 12, 13. You need someone who can come in and actually like at least make it fun to watch. Like Marcus Mariota is he's just terrible. You know, like he's an awful quarterback. I know he's a good guy. Mac Jones stinks. Gardner Minshew also stinks, but like, you know, he'll be able to eke out a few wins while you start to build the roster up for next year. But appreciate it, Nick and Jake. Have a good day.
Jack, appreciate it. Depressing call, but look, I understand people feel that way. I think the reality is it depends how the Jets feel. Because Nick, I'm with you. I think they're not leaving the first round without a quarterback this year.
No.
I would be so surprised.
No, I am of the mindset we are jumping to one. If one is for sale, if one gets traded, it's getting traded to the Jets. Someone could stick and pick, right? It could be Titans win a game or two that nobody expects. Someone else could be number one. But if number one gets sold, we're buying it.
Number one gets sold, we're buying it. How about that? Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line C with a super chat here. It's still early, but I don't think this is the QB class to force a pick a quarterback. We need to fill out the roster. We all love saying this. Imagine the Commanders said that or the Texans said that when they were picking second overall. You need to fill out the roster. The quarterback helps you fill out the roster. People seem to conveniently forget that.
The other picks, the $117 million, also help us fill out the roster.
Yeah. Also,
we've never had
this year help you
draft
do it.
capital and this financial availability. This is the perfect storm to build this roster and not be reckless. We saw last year, Muji wasn't reckless. Short-term deals, 1-year guys, guys that they thought they could that would fit. They've made some trades for Briggs, Brownlee. They're not going to be Mike McHagnon reckless, giving $85 million, which at the time set the market for the middle linebacker, or resetting the running back market for Le'Veon Bell. That's not how they're going to operate. They're going to pinpoint guys that fit their scheme and can help build the culture and contribute to the team.
Take another quarterback in 27. Just keep taking quarterbacks. Like people are like, oh, we got to take. It's like we got to build the roster. That all sounds good. These guys got to win games. Aaron Glenn can't go 4-13 this year and then go 4-13 again in 26 with Mac Jones or some other shit bridge and then expect to get his pick of quarterbacks in 27. And the other scenario no one brings up. Oh, just get it in 27. How do you know you're in position to get your guy in 27? You could try. The Giants tried to get Jaden Daniels. Washington said, hell no. New England said, oh, you want Drake May? Guess what? Too bad. How do you know the Jets are even going to be in position to trade up to get their quarterback? What if those teams also need quarterbacks in front of you? Then what?
You can't be afraid to be great. I think we all agree we have a top 10 offensive line. We have good speed at wide receiver. We got a nice piece in Garrett Wilson. I think now that you have all this money available, you tag Breece Hall and then you eventually get to an extension with him. So you're going to have a lot of good pieces in place. You got the young tight end in Taylor, who we haven't been able to get a full read on. I think that you're doing it. And I think anyone who's saying no, what are you afraid of? Like, all right, if they miss, they miss. They can go get another one in 27 if the guy is completely god-awful. So you have to have a quarterback in this league, and you can't keep kicking the can down the road because, like Jake said, you don't know what's going to happen. How about this year? Sellers, Klubnik, Nussmeier. We're like the top 3 quarterbacks this year, and none of them may go in the first round.
We say it every year.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't be afraid, man.
Dan Orlovsky, who studies quarterbacks for a living, he literally tweeted this the day after this year's NFL draft. Arch Manning, Drew Aller, Lenora Sellers, Nussmeier, Nico what's his name? Nico Lamalala.
I'm not going to help you. I'm going to let you keep going with that.
Whatever. The ex-Tennessee quarterback, Kate Klubnik, Sam Levitt, who's, by the way, probably staying in school. He's trying to get more money in NIL. John Mateer, Carson Beck, Dante Moore, Malachi Nelson. The only name here that has lived up to the hype, and he might not even come out, is Dante Moore of Oregon. I don't see Fernando Mendoza's name here. I don't see Ty Simpson's name here. Like a year ago, Jackson Dart wasn't a first-round pick. He was probably going in the 3rd round. Baker Mayfield was a 3rd-round pick at this time when he ended up going number 1 overall. Like, it's just, people got to relax, man. Now, I think there's a guy on the line that either is a beloved Jet content creator or it's an impersonator of that guy. I can't tell. I can't see his face from this angle here.
This would be a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, AG Train Conductor is what he goes by, and he's next on the show. Hey, it's Green Bean.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone. I'm sorry.
I'm so
I was like,
disappointed it's not Gator. As
I just saw a
Green
beard, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it kind of looks like Green Bean, but I don't see any Jet stuff in the background. I'm like, I only see the beard. He doesn't have his name. I'm like, is this a Gator bit, a random listener, or is it Green Bean? It's Green Bean.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a yellow hat. Like, what the hell is all this? So I'm a mess.
What's up, buddy?
So I just wanted to chime in. I tell you, I've called in a couple times after Jack. It's weird how it happens. Like when Jack calls in, I end up being like in the waiting room listening to him, and I love him. But boy, oh boy, I think there's a mindset out there. We really do try as hard as we can to find the misery, don't we? Like there's so much to go around. There's so much misery to go around. I don't think we got to work that hard. Like the whole idea of having like I got into a conversation last night. Like if we have to use these assets on a quarterback, it weakens the rest of the team. And I'm like, dude, we've had rookie of the year numerous times, defensive rookie of the year, just recently offensive defense. We've had all pro cornerbacks and defensive tackles and all this shit. It doesn't mean anything. 5 wins, 7 wins. Like we have to get a quarterback. Like, can we finally stop and put all of our shit, our chips on the table and cut the shit with everything else? Say, we have to get our quarterback, and then we got to stop messing around with who's going to coach him, how many resources we put into it. Like this Rob Calabrese as the quarter, like this kind of stuff. Get the quarterback at all costs. Identify your guy, commit, get him, and put everything you can around him to make sure that he succeeds. We have a line, Nick was just talking about it. We have a line that's young and good and only going to get better. This collection of individuals only playing together this season so far. You add Membu to Fashanu and Tippmann, and we'll figure out how it's going to look moving forward. But we have a really good young offensive line in the making. We got wide receiver 1, tight end 1. Let's look and see what we got in the receivers, the AGs and all these guys with Tyrod Taylor. But let's get our quarterback and stop worrying about what it's going to impact. Like we got $100 million. We got 100 first-round picks. Can we stop? Like, can we really just stop? We need a quarterback.
Don't get the quarterback, Green Bean, but get a really good kick returner for all the points that we give up. Get a good kick returner. We didn't have the Pro Bowl kick returner. It's been a while.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, and as exciting as it is for me to ponder the idea of playing defensive tackle against a guard named Nick Shine, like that's all wonderful to me. But I can't get it out of my head. Can the Jets get a quarterback? Like, hey, dude, Zach, just like you were talking about, all the guys, like we're already talking about waiting until 2027 to get a quarterback. Dude, like bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Remember, Zach Wilson wasn't being talked about as a quarterback in the draft right at this time. Like you said, Baker Mayfield, all this stuff's going to shake up. We don't know what the draft landscape's going to look like this year. And just so you know, last year, everybody was saying, oh, this isn't a good quarterback class. Next year is going to be so much better. Remember that?
They say it every year. Every year. And if we were doing a redraft right now, guess who goes first overall? Jackson Doherty, who was picked at the end of the first round. Like, that's how this goes.
And do you know who says it? All the people who do draft work year round because they want to have content going to the year forward. Like, all right, this draft is happening, but you're really going to like what I start putting out for the next year.
That's right. You wait and see, buddy. Oh, next year's going to be good. And that's the whole thing. It's like, guys, we have to stop it. And like you guys were talking about it a little while ago. Dude, take a quarterback this year. If he doesn't work, take another one. It's time. And the whole, I'm sure you guys saw Connor Hughes, I think it was talking about the idea of the last handful of games, maybe Brady Cook comes in. But believe me, I'm actually I tilt negative toward Brady Cook. Like, I'm really not a Brady Cook guy, but I'd love to see him at the end of let's see if this is a guy we want to keep developing, right?
You had a great line about this, by the way, when you guys were talking about this on Talking Jets. I was listening last night when you're like, we tried it with Bryce Petty. We got our answer right away. We didn't have to waste our time thinking he was any good. Like, it'd be nice to know, right? Like, do we have any chance of this guy being a long-term backup? If not, great. We'll move on. And if we lose, great. We have to now trade up less to potentially get our quarterback in the draft anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think, well, yeah, what I said was Bryce Petty went on the field and just said, I just want you guys to be certain I don't belong here. I don't belong on this field. And it's good to know that. You keep these guys hanging around. And you know the old saying, the most popular guy on the team is the backup quarterback, right?
Yep.
Always, unless you have Pat Mahomes or one of these guys, Josh Allen or something. Other than that, the backup quarterback's the most popular guy. Why? Because he's anomalous. He's a hypothetical. He's a masturbation session, with the most beautiful girl in the world. Like, that's what he is. And until you see him on the field, you're like, ooh, not so good, and then
that not have me as the guest and someone else bringing up masturbation first. So
I know.
Thank you, pal. Way to top me.
Well, it's good. It's your face that allowed that. It's like your presence being. It's like it opened that. And allowed me to say something.
Many ladies have said that too.
Thank you. because I'm a risque fella, but I really do try for Jake. I want you to know that. So whenever I'm dropping F-bombs, Jake, just know I'm trying. I'm actually trying on your show.
Yes. I love the passion, Creepy. Now, this mashed potato bar on Saturday, I need to hear more about it. I'm excited for the hobnobbing that's going to go down, to quote Jets chaos at this wedding. What else do I need to know that you've heard about the Matt O'Leary wedding?
Well, I'll tell you, I asked the question because I've never heard of such a thing. I just want you to know. It seems like as I bring it up, people are like, "Oh yeah, mashed potato bar." I'm like, "What?" Like I'm going to be 53 years old in about a month, and all those 53 years, I've never heard of one of these. I've never seen one. So it's exciting to me. But Matt O'Leary says, so when I think about it, I think of a big mound of mashed potato. Remember like Close Encounters of the Third Kind? You ever see that when he's building the Devil's Tower out of mashed potatoes and shit? Like, that's what I think.
Yeah.
But Matt O'Leary said there's going to be, it's not just like, russet mashed potatoes. It's like there's going to be all kinds of potatoes, including sweet potatoes. And so, right? Oh, that's what I did. Ooh, okay. I have to rethink this. So it's like, bacon, chives, sour cream, I believe some sort of candied aspect for the sweet potatoes, maybe some caramelized pecans, some shit like that. So I can't be more excited. And I am prepared to defend my territory around it. I do have offensive line and defensive line in my background. And I can protect if we stake our claim. And
you're a full-blown psychopath, too, on top of it.
Yeah, right, man. It's like, when mashed potato bars, I'm excited. And it's cocktail hour. So it's a finite, section of time here. So we got to make sure we maximize this.
That's the tough thing with any wedding, right? It's like you love the cocktail hour food, but you don't want to go too hard in it, and then you don't have any appetite left over for the actual dinner. Like,
nonsense. Yeah. I picture Green Bean with like the stick with the buckets over his shoulders, walking back from the table.
Right. Exactly, Nick. That's what it is. So
Green Bean, I will pull the truck up outside, and we will steal his table at the end.
Just take it. Yeah,
we'll load it up, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm actually heading up. What is it, Wednesday?
Wednesday, yep.
I'm heading up after my wife finishes work tomorrow. We're just going to jump in the car and head up to New York. We're staying in Staten Island, so we'll be up there Friday all day. And then Friday is just full, like, relax and prep for the O'Leary shindig. I really can't wait. It's going to be a blast, man.
Can't wait. Well, I look forward to seeing you in person, Green Bean. I'm glad you called in. This was a tremendous surprise. Once I figured out it was actually you on the line.
Yeah. So, just remember, everybody, let's not complicate. Let's just get our quarterback, damn it. And then we'll figure out who's going to fucking be our cornerback 3. You know what I mean? Like, for God's sakes. Anyway, have a good day, guys. See you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, Green Bean.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets!
Bang! What a great call from the great Green Bean. All right, more calls coming up. Nick, do me a favor. I have to quickly call back someone I work with at ESPN to provide important information for something going on at the station. So I'm going to throw a call up, and you handle it, and I will be back in like 2 minutes or less. All right. I'm going to give you a good one, though. I'm going to give you someone that you love, someone that you respect, and not only just you, someone that I think the audience universally respects as well.
Good morning,
Well, hello, Nick. How are you?
How you doing, buddy? I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's
On
up?
this Asmaniac defensive line, are you playing inside or are you playing outside?
I played both in pickup football before. You know, I don't know if I would be the first pick, but 25 years ago, I would have been hard to block.
All right.
The knees are not quite what they used to be, but for one game, strapping it up with maybe a brace or something, I might be able to give it a go.
Nice. I like it. What's on your mind?
So, no matter what the pundits say or what the analysts say about the draft, Muji and Glenn have to like primarily these two quarterbacks, right? That we think are coming out and going to be the top two guys. And if they don't, my only point is we don't want to force it. There is a scenario where, say, Tennessee and the Giants are the first two picks, and maybe we're third, right? Maybe we finish with a worse record than Cleveland because they have the tiebreaker, and maybe we lose to New Orleans, and we can have our pick of those guys. But you know, maybe we take one because it's worth the shot. But maybe we don't have the appetite to go up and get those guys based on spending extra draft capital. I mean,
that's fair.
There is an element of
I think we're going to know in free agency what they think of the quarterback situation for the draft, right? We'll know mid-March or before if they make a trade, at the meetings in February. If they go get somebody that could be deemed a starter, that might tell us what they think about this quarterback class. If they get rid of quarterbacks and don't really bring in a guy, say they bring in a Mariota type, right? Then we're going to know, all right, we're going all in for the quarterback. If they haven't gone all in already at that point. Don't forget, I think it was St. Patrick's Day in 2018, the Jets traded up and for Darnold or to move up to 3 from 6 to 3. So things happen early.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little worried about forcing it because a lot of people think that we forced it with Zach, and it's we don't have to. Is my only point. And I think that what you're saying about free agency is fair to the extent that they would make a trade, to the extent that they would go in on a potential bridge, like what kind of contract that they would give to a potential bridge. I just like there's probably only 2 guys that might somehow become available via trade that you would consider. And I see them as Burrow and Purdy. And Purdy has had injury issues and Burrow has had injury issues. So it's like, what do you even pay? And the whole thing with Burrow is he would have to not only want out of Cincinnati, but want to come here for that to work. For it to make sense from a price point to like I have no problem emptying the immediate silo of draft picks to go get Joe Burrow if he becomes available. But I'm not going to overpay into 2029 just for because Cleveland thinks they can hold us up, or Cincinnati thinks they can hold us up. That doesn't make any sense to me. But is the guy worth 3 or 4?
I'm not a believer that Burrow would be made available. You don't trade franchise quarterbacks in their 20s.
Right.
Especially when you built that offense and you pay Chase and you pay Higgins. And now you're going to have a top pick this year, unless Burrow comes back and they catch fire, right? And he's good enough to mask how awful that defense is and keep them in games week after week.
I wholeheartedly
I don't
agree
think,
with you.
For me, the Burrow thing is a non-conversation, Kyle.
if the relationship is good, I wholeheartedly agree. The only reason that he could shake free is if he does not want to be there anymore and he makes it uncomfortable. Because we've seen that
Doesn't
before.
seem like his demeanor though.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But I mean, you know, we've seen enough losing here to last us a lifetime when we know how players get, right? So it's just something to think about. I just want to make sure that we use this capital that we think these other teams overpaid to us wisely, economically, because there are so many holes to fill, understanding full well that quarterback is the top priority.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a matter of, does this regime like the guys that are coming out this year? And what are they willing to do to go up and get that guy, if indeed they even need to go up and get that guy?
Let's hope they don't. That's best case scenario. If they do have to come up, let's hope it's only from, like, let's say 4-2 or 3-1. And it's not going to cost you this Kachunga arm and a leg type of package to do that. And then I think you got to just do it. I think that's why you made these trades, to be able to have the ability to do that.
Who's that other voice? Where's that coming from? Who's it? Oh,
that's
Jake.
me. I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that pretty much encapsulates it, right? Like, that's where we need to get is get the quarterback, and it's going to come sometime in the next 30 months. So but it's got to be the guy. We've gone far too long. We've gone basically our entire draft history, our entire franchise history since Namath, without drafting a guy that can be a guy that elevates the entire franchise. Like, Chad Pennington's great guy and a good quarterback and totally serviceable, could get you to the playoffs, but I don't think he was that guy, right? And maybe it's just that I'm getting older and I want that guy. I finally want that guy.
There's just no way to know, though, Kyle. We all want that guy. There's just no way to know if any of these guys could be that guy. They could be, but again, the guys who were thought to be can't miss, they are that guy. They haven't been, right? Like, they have not been. Look at Trevor Lawrence and Caleb Williams and the can't miss generational label.
I'll ask you this: did you view Trevor Lawrence the same way you viewed John Elway or Peyton Manning?
Well, it's too young for Elway and Manning, but I mean, Andrew Luck was thought to be that guy, and he was very, very, very good. Unfortunately, he got hurt, right? Like, it's just, you can even pick the right guy, and it's circumstantial too. Like, build a team, man. Get your quarterback, build a team. Is Jalen Hurts, a top 5 quarterback in the sport? He was a second-round pick, but they built the team around him, and they had the right coaching, and they won. They've been to 2 Super Bowls with him. They won one of them. Like, that's what I want to see. Like, get a guy you can win with and build around him. That should be the approach. The Jets should model what the Eagles have done, where they're not a perfect team because of their quarterback. They have a perfect team because of their coaching and the talent they've assembled.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence, as a prospect, yes, he was that as a prospect. It was one game in college. He didn't lose any games in high school, I think, as a starter. Like, he was, as a prospect, he deserved that label as a prospect. Now, it hasn't fully delivered in the NFL or come near delivering.
He's had moments. He's a good quarterback. He's not awful. You could win with him, but he's not, like, everyone's like, oh, next year's. It's like, we don't know that. We say that a lot, and there's no guarantee. Even if it is better next year, the Jets can get one of those consensus guys anyway.
Yeah, and it's probably fair to say that he hasn't reached his full potential because some of the flux that's going on there and some of the instability, right? Like,
and how many years did it take Peyton to win a Super Bowl, right? There was a lot of questions about Peyton in the beginning of his career that he was just hype. He couldn't win the big one.
Look at Lamar. Lamar still hasn't won. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl. Neither has Josh Allen. Like, you could have a great quarterback, and it doesn't guarantee you're going to win anything anyway. So get a guy you can win with and do everything in your power to give him the best chance to succeed.
Right. Here's what I will say, though: if we can get that guy now with the offensive line pieces and the tight end and the wide receiver we have in place, the offense, at least, if we can get a guy that fits Engstrand's system, should be good. It should be good. The defense needs a lot of work, especially up front. I appreciate your time, guys.
Kyle, appreciate it. Defense also needs to be coached better. I think that's how you could turn it around. Greg Williams, remember that job he did in 2019 with the Jet defense? Like, they didn't have a ton of talent. Turned Jamal Adams into an all-pro, and they found a way. So we'll see.
baby, against Henry Ruggs.
2020. Yeah, it all went downhill. Hey, shout out to Frank P. He just sent in a monster super chat here. He says, just received the Mangle jersey. Thank you, Jake. Well, Frank, thanks for your support. I'm glad you won that prize. And
I would like to thank Frank because that came in when I was hosting the show. So, Frank, Nick Shine, thanks you.
It's up to you, New York, New York.
I saw the name Frank, and I said, let's give him a little Frank Sinatra, courtesy of our pal, Joe Beningo. Frank, you're the best. Appreciate you. I got you in the raffle for 10. We got some more people on hold. If you're on hold, I promise we will get to you. Let's go in order. Chillin' Buddha is next. What's up, Chillin'?
What's going on, Jake? Nick, how y'all doing today?
How are you, man?
I'm cool with genuinely throwing 2 1s at a quarterback. Call that like a really hot take. But I'm so tired of just not having anything to work with.
You're saying in the draft, trading up and getting someone?
Yeah.
Well, think about it. It's really only in that scenario. It's really only 1-1 because like you're flipping picks where you're picking, and then it's one additional one. And if it's one of the ones in 27 and you have 3 of them, you still would have a lot of draft capital. Or say it's the Colts pick. Okay, we traded an extra pick, which we still have another first next year because of Sauce. Mm-hmm. And we swapped picks and we got our quarterback. Great. And we still have 2 2s this year. And we, at that point, would have spent a lot of money in free agency to surround our team with better talent. Like, I don't understand why there's so many Jet fans being like, I refuse to trade anything for any of these. Like, you got to give to get, man. If you hit on the quarterback, which is the ultimate crapshoot, you have a chance. And that's what we need as Jet fans. We need something to point to that makes us feel like we have a chance. We don't have that right now.
And we still have more picks. Like if we trade a 1 and a 2 and the pick that we have, we still have 6 picks in the first 2 rounds the next 2 years. We have ample opportunity to build this roster plus 117 million available to add to the roster. Like you build your big pieces through the draft and you get your backup offensive lineman, you get a defensive tackle, you go find a linebacker that might fit your scheme better to come in. Like you can find these pieces in free agency and then go draft your core. And let me ask you guys a question. Is there anybody that would not trade an all-pro cornerback to go get a franchise quarterback? It's essentially what you would be doing, right? You would trade Sauce if we got a franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right? Is there anyone who wouldn't do that?
Hey, I got breaking news here. You guys ready for this one? This is, wow.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
Richard Johnson is reporting the Jets are expected to check in on Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes this offseason. Playoffs this year. He might prefer to rebuild with a different team. So let's throw Patrick Mahomes now into the mix because obviously a guy on Twitter saying he's Richard Johnson reporting this. He must be related to Woody Johnson, and thus he's telling the truth. So, Nick Shine, your initial reaction, the Jets checking in on Patrick Mahomes.
I believe the Jets are still in the process of building the time machine so they could go back and acquire Prime Joe Montana also. So keep an eye out for that story today, Jake. That'll be coming out soon.
All right, you heard it here first. I will be doing a breaking news show right after this, reacting to what Richard Johnson's reporting on the Jets' interest in Patrick Mahomes. Continue, Mr. Buddha.
Follow that breaking news up.
Yeah, no, that's hard to
track
follow
after
up.
That bomb just gets dropped.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'd love that, honestly. I think genuinely we have enough talent up front to keep Patrick Mahomes from getting.
Don't entertain. Don't entertain this, dude.
I'm just, yeah. But either way, man,
I'm just because I wouldn't want the wife to be here. So no, I'm out.
Yeah, no, I don't think Kansas would like that too much. But no, I really want to see Brady cook even before like the last game. I don't want to see him play against the Bills like when the Bills are throwing all their second string guys in or whatever. I want to see him beforehand. I want to see if he can stay consistent. Maybe he can have a consistent pattern. So maybe he can even be, an option for next year when we're trying to get our franchise QB, whether that be this year or next year. Either way,
don't count on the Bills. The Bills are not going to be in a position to rest their starters. That game will probably mean something for them.
Yeah.
I know that's a narrative we've had out there for months. We just assumed they were going to cakewalk with the division, but that game's going to mean something to them.
Yeah, I think they're in a position where it's like a flip of a coin. You know, it's really whatever the coach decides to do at the end of the day. Uh, we could sit here and say they're going to start or they're not going to start. Either way, I would like to see him get some reps in beforehand. You know, even I don't want to wait for Tyrod Taylor to get hurt, and now we have no other option but to go to him. I want to get him like the reps in beforehand. That way we can kind of see what he's made of. I just don't want to see Justin Fields again.
By the way,
year, man.
That's big today too. That's the biggest thing for me coming out of Aaron Glenn's press conference. I'm sure he's going to be asked, "Who's quarterback two?"
Right. That's
Is
one of the
Fields
first
going to be
questions.
active or inactive this week?
If he acknowledges
Mm-hmm.
if he acknowledges who the quarterback is in the first place. By the way, the Bills probably are going to need that game now. I originally thought they'd have to rest their starters too, but I mean, the Patriots are running away with the division, so Buffalo's going to need that game to get into the playoffs.
Right.
And New England's schedule is by far the easiest in NFL history. I've never seen a team have an opposition winning percentage of 370. I've never
got
seen
easier
anything
too.
below like 440.
Think
To
about
have
it.
370 is absurd.
Jamar Chase spitting on Jalen Ramsey, suspended for a game. That's who the Patriots are playing this week. So they get the Bengals who don't have the defense without their best player.
Yeah, I don't even want to go too much into that. That was pretty wild. But call this a hot take. How would you guys feel about throwing a one for a really good wide receiver? Maybe a good wide receiver that's not getting as much spotlight on another team. Call that a very hot take.
Right? Receivers are divas. Receivers want money. There's always a receiver every year that a team just says, you know what? We changed our system. He doesn't fit. We're going to move him. I'd have to have a name attached to it. In theory, yes. I have no issue going and trading for a guy who can come in and help us immediately. But I need names attached to it, right? There's guys I would say yes to, guys I say no to. You know, I don't want someone who's a carbon copy of Garrett Wilson. I want someone who complements Garrett Wilson and does things that Garrett Wilson can't do to help build our overall wide receiver core. So in theory, yes, but I'd have to know the names that I would be in or out on.
I mean, what's been brewing a little bit in my head, because I noticed he's been kind of hot and cold as far as his recognition on the team. But I've been leaning a lot towards AJ Brown. I don't think he's getting as much recognition in Philly as he deserves. And he's even said that numerous times. I've seen videos of him kind of saying like, hey man, I'm not like, just trade me or whatever. There was one video about that I saw, but it just doesn't seem like he necessarily wants to be there. And I think call that a hot take as well. But I just think he would get a lot more shine on the Jets. Like we'd put him at wide receiver next to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, who's his quarterback?
Yeah, I wouldn't want him with a young quarterback. He seems to be okay with rocking the boat, and I wouldn't want that in-house with a rookie quarterback trying to develop, having to worry about keeping someone like AJ Brown happy.
He's always just these guys are all just always unhappy. I mean, it's just like that's why I'm grateful for Garrett. He's got he made of the right stuff. Good call, Buddha. Appreciate you. All right, we are already an hour and a half in, so I want to remind people we have a sick giveaway today. It's a Breece Hall signed helmet. We need some more memberships to do it. If not, we'll give away a jersey. We're going to get to your remaining calls, though, right now on the program. Let's say hello to Taylor, who yesterday won a signed CJ Mosley helmet in the raffle. Taylor's next. Taylor, I will be sending that out to you later today. Congrats.
Oh, yeah, baby. Thanks. How you guys doing?
What's up, man?
All right.
I don't know. Jets fans love picks. They love having draft picks. I think you gotta, if you can, you have to trade up and get a QB, whoever you like. I'd say Mendoza. He's the most pro ready, I'd say, compared to Simpson, I guess. And he's accuracy. Everybody is knocking on him because his good trait is accuracy and throwing with anticipation. But I'm like, when's the last time we had a QB that did that? Chad, Brett Favre, I guess, that 1 year. Maybe McCown a little bit was a smart QB, but that's what they're missing. And as far as filling out the roster, you have so many picks, and you already have there are players on the team that are going to stay. If you go, QB, and you retain the Indy pick at the end of the first round this year, you can take a couple defensive players in the top 40, top 50, whatever our second round picks end up being. If you say, move a 1 and a 2 from next year, or a 1, whether it's the Indy pick or a 2, some capital this year to move up, it doesn't matter. You have what, 12 picks? They're going to be taking 5 or 6 players in the top 4 rounds, maybe 5 rounds, because they're going to trade up with some of those picks.
I think there's a 0% chance we take 5 first-round picks for the next 2 years.
Right. It doesn't make
there's
any sense.
0. Either we trade up, we use one of them, or even we trade out. I don't think that we're going to be movers. If we don't value, say, the Indy pick. I know a lot of people said that there's value in this draft from 25 to 52. I have no issue if the Jets say, all right, you know what? We didn't get the guys that we wanted. We tried to make some calls. We tried to trade up. It didn't happen. Trade out. Trade back, get more picks, do whatever. Go attack the draft where you feel there's the most value. So I think there's 0% chance we take 5 first rounders in the next 2 years.
I agree.
I think in that area, I feel like it's almost foregone conclusion the Jets are going to be attacking Sonny Styles from Ohio State. They need a linebacker, that knows what he's doing and can, run, stop, and play coverage. Just an overall good linebacker. If Quincy,
I would also sign someone in free agency. Alex Anzalone is a free agent from the Lions. I would give him a lot of money, and if I overpay, that's free agency. Bring him in, let him be the new captain of the defense for Aaron Glenn. He knows Glenn, he likes Glenn. That'd be a guy I'd go after.
100%. And if you don't,
I'm big on moving Sherwood to off ball and getting a true Mike.
Yeah.
Like Sherwood is not a middle of the defense guy for me. I'd rather him running in space, covering the running backs out in the flat, than being the Mike in the middle of the field. I'm not a fan of this at all.
Yeah, he's been horrendous this year. But the overall point is they're going to have to go get a QB this year. Glenn's plan is not going to be we're getting a Mariota. I mean, I guess Kyler is probably the top of that list for competent QBs, but he stinks. Yeah, I don't like him either. Especially personally.
Why would we go from a quarterback? Why would we go from a quarterback in Fields who is mobile, isn't great in the pocket, to go get another quarterback with a worse contract who's mobile and not very good in the pocket? Like, to me, it would make 0 sense. That would be the end of Glenn.
Right, which is why I think the best option is if you want to get, you're probably going to have to get another, type QB to play behind him unless Tyrod comes back. But Mendoza's got to be the guy because he can play right away, and your best option is to have a rookie that plays right away and is competent and at least upstairs, mentally can get it done and hit the open guys. And if you go QB and receiver in one of your first 4 picks this year, and then 2 defensive players, you're rebuilding your roster right there. Hope you hit on a late round pick or 2, which hasn't worked, but you got to hope. And then whatever's left, like, you're not going to be a great team next year, but Glenn's plan is not going to be under 5 wins again. He's going to be.
You might not get 2027, Taylor. If that happens, spot on. Amen. Ralphie, super chat in the raffle for 2. He says, look at J.J. McCarthy. Even with Kevin O'Connell as the QB master, he's not there yet. He also missed all of his rookie year. So the earlier you get these guys on your team and you can develop them and play them, the experience, the better chance they have of being successful. 100%. That's why I want the quarterback this year, so we don't go into 2027, get our quarterback then. Then what can you expect with a rookie in year 3 of Glenn and Muji? And then if they have another losing year, are they getting a 4th year? Like, come on. You got to get the quarterback this year. Kyle Clifton, he says, all these assets, picks, cap are impressive. Nick, but I'm a stingy mother grabber. That said, go get Mahomes. That's right, folks, just tuning in. Richard Johnson, who obviously is related to Woody, says the Jets are expected to check in on Patrick Mahomes, baby. Yeah.
Now, would Richard Johnson give out a game ball before the coach?
He'd give you a hug.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Hell yeah. Brian checks in. Coach Ulbrich. Building the team in the 26th draft and skipping early round rookie QB might be hard for fans to endure, but it might be the best way to build a winner. Now, the best way to build a winner is to get a quarterback. I still maintain that. You could do both, Brian. You could use your first round pick on quarterback this year, have your second first. What if they don't even have to trade up? What if they used one of their first round picks on a QB and the rest of the picks went to building up the team and they spent $100 million in free agency? People like it doesn't need to be one or the other. You could do both at the same time. That's what drives me nuts. More calls right now. Jason in Jerusalem, and then we'll do a couple more. I'm going to try and get to as many as we can here, but I'm up against it. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Jake. Hey, Nick. Great show so far. First of all, shout out to the Isles. Great game last night.
Yeah, man, and that was crazy at the end how dirty that hit was by what's his name on the Isles.
And the last few games, it's so weird to watch a team having calls going for them. Those last two reviews, the Druin kick into the net that somehow recounted, and the fact that the Isles got the call on goalie interference, I was shocked about. So not used to as a Jet fan having calls go our way.
It was rare. That was such a dirty hit too. I was glad Patrick Waugh flipped out on Rantanen.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Some of your points made. I mean, anybody who says about Burrow being traded, it's not happening. We're talking about Cincinnati here. They told Carson Palmer to go retire. You know, when he said to trade him.
Patrick Mahomes, though. Richard Johnson's all over it.
Oh, we know him as Dick in our family.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, anything that Dick says, you really have to take really seriously. But, I mean, seriously, anybody who doesn't check in on any player in the league should be fired, even if they're going to laugh at you and hang up. I mean, isn't that the job of the GM to basically check the pulse of every team and see who's available?
100%.
Looking at the teams, based upon my calculation, 6 out of the 10 teams in the top 10 right now would be interested in drafting a quarterback. So there's going to be a fight for it. Cleveland has 2 first-round picks this year. And what people aren't necessarily realizing is a lot of those teams in the top 5 are playing each other before the end of the season. So Tennessee still plays Cleveland and New Orleans. The Giants are playing Vegas. Cleveland's playing Vegas, Tennessee, and Cincy. New Orleans has Atlanta twice, the Jets and Tennessee. Vegas has Cleveland and the Giants. I mean, this is going to be a very different top 10 by the end of the year.
It's going to change a million times. Look at this. The Jets still play the Titans.
Or some of these teams are going to get wins.
The Titans play the Saints. This will change. I think with Dart back for the Giants, they'll win a couple games here. Like people got to relax with the draft order on November 19th.
Right, but no matter how many picks you have, I don't know if you remember this, but Miami had 3 picks when they picked Tua, and they offered all 3 first-round picks to Cincy for the 1, and Cincy basically said no thanks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if Cleveland gets the 1 and New Orleans gets the 2, you're not getting a QB. And then the Jets needed.
Cleveland just announced that Shador is going to be their starting quarterback Sunday.
That was a formality. You knew that Gabriel wasn't getting cleared from concussion
That's
protocol.
a team that's not going to win.
Against all odds.
Yeah, but they still have Cincy to play. And Vegas and Tennessee.
Yeah, so look, Jason, the order is going to change a million times. That's why it's like, we could talk about the scenarios, but we got to be patient. Bang Mateo
Don't
says,
turn the ship yet, Jake. Don't turn the ship yet. Kind of stay the course. Wait until we're locked into 2 or 3, and then you can start to turn the ship.
Yeah, people like all these. It's like it's going to change a lot. The Jets are probably going to win another 1 or 2 games. Like people need to accept that. I don't think the Jets are going to finish 2-15. Bang Mateo says Jet Central will drop a 10-minute video on this Mahomes hogwash. No one's dropping any video on this. It's obviously a joke. The guy's name is Richard Johnson. It's a parody account. The fact that I even need to say this to you, Bang Mateo, tells me all I need to know. This is not a real thing. It's just funny. People can't sense my sarcasm when I said breaking news from Richard Johnson, who's related to Woody. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, a few calls left. Jordan, we're under fire here, so let it rip.
Real quick, going off of what you guys said earlier, about trading up for the quarterback. I don't think you trade up for Mendoza, Ty Simpson, any of these quarterbacks in the top 5 for number 1, because they're not generational talents. No matter how bad we need the quarterback, you don't give up assets for average arm or, not the generational guy like a Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, whatever the case. And not only that, I think that if we wait till the second round to draft a quarterback, our chances are better because Jake, you showed this this graphic before where your first round quarterbacks tend to don't really do that great. So why are we going to keep putting the pressure on the Jets organization to draft a quarterback 1, and we don't even believe or have the coaching
What
staff.
graphic are you talking about? You mean the first overall picked quarterback?
Yeah, the first overall pick graphic.
Yes, but the Jets aren't going to get the first overall pick. I don't see there's any way they're going to be bad enough to do that.
But that's what you guys been saying all morning, to trade up for number one.
I
Right.
believe they're going to. I mean, I get the point. There are many quarterbacks in the NFL who are the top quarterbacks who were not declared the number one guy.
I see your point now, Jordan. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. That's why. But to me, it's almost circumstantial. Sometimes you have to just do it, because if you're in a spot where if you're at 4, let's say, and teams 2 and 3 need a quarterback, if you want to guarantee you get your guy, you got to potentially move to number 1. And there's a ton of risk involved in that, because you're right. The graphic I shown is this one, where often the first quarterback drafted does not end up being, the best quarterback in that respective class. So I see your point.
Yeah, that's the point that I was trying to make. So I just think maybe wait till the second round, draft that kid out of UFC, Jordan Mayava. He seems decent. I know. I just think that there's more options than just trading away our picks and just going for Mendoza or Ty Simpson or whatever the case is for that number 1 pick. That's all I was trying to say.
Are you doing your Bobby Midnight here? Are you calling in the bathrobe? What are we doing here?
No, it's not a bathrobe. It's just a thicker robe, It's a little chilly.
You're doing a Bobby Midnight impersonation here.
Yeah, but I actually wear my clothes underneath on the show,
Hey now.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Bob was on hold before, but he dropped off. So we got a couple calls left here, ladies and gentlemen. JJ's next. Hello, JJ.
Yo, I agree with the last caller. I don't think we need to, trade up to get our guy. Now, it depends, though. It depends on who comes out, because we don't even know who's coming out. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you have 2 first-round draft picks, you can get some quality players with those 2 first-round draft picks instead of, selling the house just to get 1 quarterback. Yes, quarterback is the most important position in the football, but there's no guarantee in anything. And it's crazy how people say these guys aren't generational talents, because no one really thought Josh Allen was going to be a generational talent, or that Baker Mayfield or Lamar Jackson. So you can't really go based off of what you're seeing in college, because when these guys get into the NFL, sometimes it clicks for them, sometimes it doesn't. So it's a hit or miss regardless, but you just got to feel confident in your evaluation process. And I think that if you have to choose between Dante Moore, Ty Simpson, and Mendoza, all 3 of them are very close. I don't think one is significantly better than the other. So I don't see the point of us trading up to get one. I know I sound fickle because I want Mendoza slightly more than I want Ty Simpson now, but at the same time, I'm not willing to get rid of my assets in order to do it, especially with there being so many holes on this team. Like, we're not a quarterback away like we used to be, right? So if we were a quarterback away, it makes sense. But because, we really need linebacker help on the defensive side of the ball, we really need another wide receiver. There's just so many holes along the team that it makes no sense for us to get rid of some of the assets that we have for one player.
But AJ, just the first 2 rounds, we have 8 picks in the next 2 years. If we give our number 5 overall, say, a 1 and a 2 to jump, we still have 6 picks in the first 2 rounds the next 2 years. We are going to make a move. I don't think they're going to sit and wait with the amount of other teams that need a quarterback. And people keep saying, oh, these quarterbacks fell. But good teams made moves to get quarterbacks. The Ravens, who were a playoff team, knew they were moving on from Joe Flacco. They jumped up to get Lamar. The Chiefs, who were a playoff team, had Alex Smith. They moved up to get their next quarterback.
But you see what you're saying? These teams were established teams that had, playoff aspirations. We're building from the ground up. And I can name 8 positions on this team right now that could use, a first to second round talent that would significantly help the production, right? I think
keep linebacker, D tackle, D end, interior offensive line, quarterback, receiver, and either backup tight end or another running back if you release Brees or move on from Brees.
Plus, another reason that you want to let these guys use these picks is because, one, for the most part, these are their picks. They were able to go out there and get them Muji. But I don't want to ever hear the excuse of they need to get their own guys. Let's get them their own guys. Go get your own guys. Go get 8 players and turn this team around, right? Because that's significant. I mean, there's 11 starters on a football field, 22 technically when defense and offense. So go get 8. Go get 8 of them. Go use your picks to get 8 of our 11 starters on offense or defense, however you want to, mix it up. Does that make sense?
It does in theory, yeah, but you got to remember too, down the road, if you hit on these picks, are you going to be able to pay all of them? Are you going to be able to pick up the 5th-year option on all of them? You know, you do have to plan for down the road. And I think when you have these assets and you have these picks, you pinpoint who are your guys, whether it's the quarterback, whether you trade up.
But they know, and we know you're not going to hit. Everyone knows we're not going to hit on all 8 of them, so you're not going to have to pay all 8 of them. But you're giving yourself better chance. You're giving yourself a much better chance in that standpoint versus what we've been doing in the past.
But it means nothing if you don't have a quarterback. So you have to balance both. You could do both.
We had an all-pro D tackle, right, Jake? We had an all-pro cornerback. We couldn't win.
They hit on their first 4 picks in the 2022 draft. They drafted the offensive and defensive rookie in the year, the same draft class, and a guy who made a Pro Bowl as an edge rusher, and a guy in Brees Hall who's considered to be one of the better young running backs in the league. And they still couldn't win more than 7 games at their best. So you need a quarterback, man. You got to balance both.
You do need a quarterback, but at the same time, right? You got, and who knows if Archie Manning is coming out, and I know you guys don't really like him, but that would be 4 potential quarterbacks coming out this year. Ty Simpson
coming out this year. He's not. He's not even having a great year.
He's not.
Because his dad essentially said it.
I'm a Georgia fan. I watched the entire game Saturday night. He is not worthy.
Okay, but even if he isn't coming out, he would be
benched.
But there's still 3 quarterbacks that are most likely coming out, and
to be fair, that was the most his call ever worked from.
Look at this freeze frame right here, folks. Sit back and enjoy it.
That's the longest he's gone on without the phone breaking up at all. So that might be a record.
I know what we need. We need this man.
A fresh French toast with powdered sugar and pork sausage, baby.
Are you smuggling
all
cocaine?
Done within how many minutes? 20 minutes. All fresh and in condition as well. Very. Oh, don't worry. That's 1 week away. We're getting ready for that. Oh, yeah, we are. No, that is not AI. That is made 100% fresh bread, fresh egg, fresh. Put a little vanilla abstract into my egg, and then it gives it that nice punch. Learn that shit first before you knock on my door. You can't do it? Back in line.
Hey, Black Gypsy thought that was poop.
Hey, he's full of shit. He's a dumbass, just like his brains are.
What world are we living in that Beast just censored himself?
He's a doofus.
Hey, show us the French toast again. I thought it looked great.
All right, the powdered sugar.
Okay.
Perfectly. I had to say to move it all around, break it in parts because it was clumped up, so I had to break it. I had to break it in parts. This took me not this one. Well, I had to use 3 eggs because the eggs are so small. I'm like, hey, what you see is what you get. You know, if you don't like it, oh well, starve. You know. Oh, well.
How much syrup did you put on there?
A good amount. That's why you use
looks.
blueberry. Let me just say this. Blueberry syrup is the best. It's always going to be the best. You know why? It adds more flavor, more texture, and also the sexiness in it has that nice little.
Hey, who's sexier, you or Charles Gorman?
I am. I got more gun control than that bum. He don't do anything like I do. Let's look at the tail of the tape, folks. When it comes to garbage cans, and I load them all up, he don't have the balls for this job. I do more lawns than that punk. That guy is a cheapskate who hides in his basement. Got no guts, got no glory, got no nothing, and he's completely jobless. Me, I'm a man's man. They don't make muscles like this anymore. You know why? Today's men are a bunch of chicken shit, yellow cowards who hide in their basement and play either a porno version of Scrabble or anything else stupid. It's not even qualified for the job. It's called until you come back to me. Then you come back to me in 10 years, and we'll see if you got your qualifications up to par. If not, sorry. You tell me how crazy I am. I just took 4 chair headshots.
Now that's a man's man right there, Nick Shine.
I didn't want to tell Beast that Charles Gorman has an apartment on the 2nd floor. He's not in the basement.
We'll bring that up to him in the
Breaking
future.
news.
J Quest with a scenario. Last game of the season, win and knock out the Bills from the playoffs, but the Jets get the 4th pick, or lose and you get the 1st pick. I think I would take the 1st pick because I get my guaranteed pick of the quarterback, and I don't have to trade any of my draft picks in that scenario. So,
and we know Josh Allen can't get to the Super Bowl, so let someone else knock them out.
Would I be depressed if they went from 1 to 4? Not necessarily, because there's no guarantee, as we've talked about, that these quarterbacks are great, or they would even need to move up. They could still maybe get the same quarterback they want it for. Remember the Giants won that game late? Oh, they're not going to be able to get a quarterback. They're not going to get Shador. Well, they traded back in and got Dart, who's better than anyone picked so far anyway. So I wouldn't be furious if this happened. It'd be an awesome consolation prize to not have the number 1 pick, still picking the top 4. I guess also it would depend on which team is moving up to number 1. If it's Tennessee and I still can make a deal with them, all right, I'll live with it. But I think just not knowing the end result of all this, I think I'll just take my chances, get the number 1 pick.
Agreed. At that point, if it's lose and we get number 1 guaranteed, I'll take number 1, because you know what? We hit Drew Bledsoe. We created Tom Brady. Let's reverse that a little bit. Let the Bills help us to give us number 1 and create our quarterback of the future. And now if you get that number 1, I was trying to say before JJ cut in, say you stick and pick with the quarterback. Now you can use those assets. Say a receiver like Tate, for example, starts to slide into the early teens. Now you can move up. You don't have to wait. If you label guys that you can bring in and build this team and get you to the level that you want to get to, you don't have to sit and wait. You can be aggressive, not just with moving up for a quarterback, for moving up for a linebacker, for moving up for back into the 1st round to get a receiver if a guy falls. You control the draft, and that's valuable because you have all these extra assets that you can pounce whenever you want to when you figure out who your guy is.
Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, super chats at the end here. Taylor says, thanks for everything you do, Jake. Taylor, you're in the raffle for 5 more. Jeff Kevin checks in. Good morning, my brothers. I really want to call in, but the internet at work is glitching. Keep up the great content. Go Jets. Chef Kevin in the house. Shout out to you, Kev. The Rooster says, take a look at Denver and Detroit's draft when Campbell and Peyton took over. They used all their draft capital to revamp their team. This Jets regime is using all their 1st and 2nd picks in 26, 27. The difference, though, you have to bring this up, Rooster. It's not the same exact thing. They already had Jared Goff. The Jets don't have a quarterback. They tried for Fields to be their version of Goff, right? Reclamation project with a different team. It didn't work. Bring him to our team. We coach him up. They've admitted by benching him, it's over. So it's different. I think they will try to use most of the picks. In an ideal scenario, they don't have to move up to get their guy, but they made these deals in case they did. If you remember, Campbell and the Lions, right? Brad Holmes, they used their picks, but they also didn't trade away any superstars like the Jets did to get their picks. They just used the picks they had, right? They didn't get all these picks in trades. They traded Hawkinson. They didn't get multiple ones like the Jets did for Sauce. They kept their picks and made smart decisions with them. The Jets, they still need to hit on their own picks, but they have extra picks now to use potentially to get the quarterback. So that's the difference. Now, let's see.
Aaron Glenn is very steadfast. Aaron Glenn, when he makes up his mind, it's going to happen. If they target a player and say, we need that guy to be a New York Jet, they have the assets to go and get that guy if they feel he's going to go before they get to him. So
now Denver didn't do it.
Aggressive.
Well, here's the thing. You brought up Sean Payton, right? Denver didn't. They were able to take Bo Nix, pick 15, not trade up for him. They got their guy. So there's no exact way to do it. Every scenario is different. I think in an ideal world, again, the Jets don't need to move up for their quarterback. You might have to. You just might. Spencer Green in the raffle for 2 says 100 for $750 on Sunday. Jake, I'm waiting. And no, you cannot go bet the Jets back door. I'm locked for 100 for $750. Let me know. Spencer, deal. I will make the bet with you again. I will give you $750 if the New York Jets beat the Ravens. If they don't, well, then you owe me for the 2nd straight game $100. The latest line on FanDuel, it's a pretty fair bet because it's 13.5 points plus 730. So you want to do 750, you got yourself a deal. Deal.
Mitchell 3-touchdown game incoming, Jake.
Lock it in. Peter Castro, Jake, Nick, quarterback most important. Without it, we go nowhere. Well said, Mr. Castro.
Look
Well
at the
said.
Indianapolis Colts, if you need proof of this. They were 13-3 and a Super Bowl contender with Peyton Manning. He gets hurt. They're 3-13, number 1 overall pick. Same exact roster. But he had the neck injury, 3-13, number 1 pick. You just see the value in the position right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, one last call here. Mike, close us out before the raffle.
Hey, you got me, Jake?
What's up, Mike? Have you called before? You have. I think you have, right? Yeah.
Good afternoon, Nick. Good afternoon, Jake. Spencer's a wild one, let me tell you.
Hey, he's a man of his word. He might
He
be
really
crazy,
is.
but he did pay me $100 right after the game on Thursday, so I appreciate it.
I love me some Spence. Real quick, guys. Let's say we win 2 games. I see us winning Miami. Atlanta with this morning's news. They look cooked. Let's say we're sitting at 5-7 on the draft board. What's your guys' limit as far as how much to give up to move up to get our QB? Like, what's too much?
I don't have a limit yet because it depends where we end up. If you're 4, if you're 7, or anywhere in
Right.
between, right? It depends on where you are. So for each position, the draft value chart changes.
And also, Nick, how many quarterbacks are worthy of even being considered, right? If it's only just one, right?
And that's my issue.
I need to know how many quarterbacks come out, or because to me, it's like it's a supply and demand conversation as much as it is about getting a quarterback. It's like if you have similar grades on multiple guys, you're not going to necessarily have to be as aggressive to go from 5 to 1 if you can get maybe 5 to 3 and still get a quarterback you like. It just depends on how many come out. My preference would be to avoid having to deal away my first round picks in 2027 if possible. I would be
Right.
willing to move my first this year, the Colts pick. I'd be willing to trade one of my 2s this year. I would like to keep 2027 intact for my team
Right.
going into next year.
Right, and that's what I was thinking also. That was that was pretty much for me. Good show today, guys. And has Beast ever showed a good play? That looked like burnt chicken.
Well, he's not going to like hearing that. Beast, what do you have to say for yourself?
You want burnt chicken, asshole? I'll show you burnt chicken. Yeah. When I roast your ass over the fucking over the countertop.
Whoa.
Watch it,
He's
buddy.
just kidding, Beast. He's just kidding. Mike's just messing with you. He loves your food. He wants to wine and dine you.
Hey, watch it, buddy.
Hey, listen, I want raw chicken. That's all I want.
You want chicken, huh? How do you? Well, I'll tell you what. I got a guy down in Carolina who can do that for you, and you know who I'm talking about. We gonna baptize that chicken. You know who I'm talking about? The man who does.
Oh man, Beast, don't change. Don't change.
Look up the guy on Instagram. I'll send you the guy's link, and you can watch the whole video and just go. You're gonna baptize that chicken. Popeyes ain't got it. KFC ain't got it. Even churches, Sharks, Bojangles, Zesties, Zestos, even Sharks, they don't got nothing on that chicken. Gobble, 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 gobble.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Mike.
Holla, player. Now, let's go to the main event.
Hey, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. I'm still counting the names here, Beast.
I see that.
You're skipping too many steps.
How much of that French toast is left, Beast?
That been destroyed. Hey, when you use fresh bread,
He talks about the meal longer than it takes him to eat the meal.
Hey, if you want a good meal, you got to have the best meal. And I did use vanilla extract. That sexies it up just a little bit with a crunch touch. Are we ready?
Hey, I'll be ready in about let's say about 15 seconds.
All right, well, folks, get ready for
you
Sunday.
fill 15 seconds of talking, Beast?
Yeah, Beast, can
We
you give us
are
something?
going to
Give us your best
Ravens.
material.
My best material: destroy the Ravens. Finish what you started. Be afraid.
The one time we asked you to talk, you stopped talking?
Now, you know what time it is?
Hey, I need another 15 seconds.
You know what time's going to be for the
Beast,
Ravens?
I can't hear you.
These words are going to be for the Ravens. Get ready for the ride. Prepare for an ugly ride.
Hey, Spencer Green, real quick, says, Beast, I've solved your health issues. You need to be checked for type 2 diabetes. I'm type 1 myself. I'm serious. Go get checked.
Why don't you rest in peace?
would have been great if you turned the light off too when you did that. Do it again and turn the light off.
Remember, hear this out, Spencer. You will rest in peace.
Perfect. Look at that. The light's still on. Oh, that's the window.
Now, let's go to the wheel. Are we ready?
Yes.
Now, it's time to spin the wheel of champions.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Folks, you can't teach that anywhere. That's why Beast is a master of his craft.
Have we hit the 1 year anniversary of Beast yet? I know he popped up like late last year.
It's coming soon.
December?
Yeah, December. Hold on.
We got to do like an anniversary show for him, man. Like, Gator, get to work.
That's a great idea. Ladies and
Thank
gentlemen, let's think about this for a moment. The
Boomtown,
anniversary
do we have the exact date?
The anniversary of Beast. Before we get to the wrap, by the way, we didn't get enough memberships for the helmet, so I'm going to give away a Jets jersey instead. We'll do the helmet this afternoon. It will carry over. But in honor of Nick referencing Beast, this was the very first call late December last year when I took a call from a man known as Beastbreaker 666. Beastbreaker 666 is up next. Hello, Beastbreaker.
We have 100,000 colleges in the United States. Why don't we just look at some of the different colleges? We got Boston College. We got Hofstra. We have we need to take $10 billion out, go get a brand new offensive line and a new kicker. Hello, Einstein. Bullshit. I don't know. Jesus Christ. Oops, I forgot. You forgot 14 years of losing. I don't want to see that anymore. Get back on your horse and fight. Bullshit. Am I not right, Jake?
Beastbreaker, I think you make some salient points. Call back.
Fuck. When do you want me to call back?
Every day.
You got yourself a deal.
Well, that was a call, folks. Welcome to the tournament, Beastbreaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, vote for the Beast.
A man of integrity. He says he'll call back every day. Well, guess what? Beastbreaker has delivered on his promise.
It's literally the scene from Cable Guy when he's like, "Oh, we're friends. Are you really my friend? When do you want me to call back?" It's literally what I see whenever you play that clip.
It's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, after that detour, it's now time. It's a raffle. A Jets jersey of your choosing. Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, Breece Hall, or any of the Jet Legend player jerseys I've featured. So that'd be Namath, Klecko, Revis, Curtis Martin, Wayne Corbett, Nick Mangold, Keyshawn Johnson. Those are your options, folks. Robin Boy Wonders at the literal buzzer. Thank God I just saw this, Robin. He is entering the raffle last second. He just gifted a channel membership as we are about to spin the Wheel of Champions. But now everyone has been entered. Black Gypsy. He loves doing this. He was the first to enter today. Now he's trying to be the last to enter and win a prize. All right, here we go. Nobody else. You gift anymore, you're qualified for this afternoon, not this one. Again, good luck to everyone. If you win, you got to email me, asmanjake@gmail.com. Here we go. Your winner is... And it is the Rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Caw-caw, caw-caw. Hey, let me see if Beast makes any rooster noises. Hey, Beast, do you make a rooster noise? Hold on.
Can you fly around and act like a raven since we're playing the Ravens Sunday?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but the Ravens are going to be getting the mighty robots. Mega Man.
Fly around like a raven. Ravens don't do karate. Fly around.
Oh,
like
no,
a raven.
no. Nah. We're going to be Mega Man. We're Mega Man. You know who Mega Man is? One of my all-time favorite video game guys. Mega Man was one of my favorites. Don't mess with Mega Man or you'll get
All right.
Noodles will live in infamy for being in that clip.
The Rooster, thank you for your support. Congrats on winning the raffle. Thanks to everyone who entered. We appreciate you for that. Nick Shine, tell people about the Nick Shine show before we depart here.
Yeah, we'll be going on at 12:30. We'll be covering the Aaron Glenn press conference, what he says, and what the quarterback situation will be, and any fights that he starts with the media or personal attacks that he doles out. We'll have all that coverage. I'll drop the link right now. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to the Nick Shine Show. I appreciate you, and thank you. Son of a bitch.
Gobble, gobble. Everyone go subscribe. All right. That does it for me. Before we get out of here, a disturbing piece of audio from Alan.
That guy fucked me twice.
Yikes. All right. Have a great day, everyone. I'm back with Jeff Parles at 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk about whatever Glenn says today and whatever else is going on with the Jets. For Nick Shine, I'm Jake Asman saying gobble, gobble, and go Jets.
It's up to you, New York, New York.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go Jets.